like he could have. But I think he's been wise to prioritize getting good mana first.
Yes.
Because his deck is so reliant on this going on. This deck was actually, I think, pretty powerful when Dig Through Time was legal, but lost at least a little bit of its luster.
Yes, it definitely did.
And I guess that's why he's just playing these Painful Truths.
It makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like...
Just need cards.
Yeah. I mean, I've paid 3 mana for Treasure Cruise times.
Somehow this Goyf is only a 3/4. No sorceries? Okay, so Zinni did just draw his own Goyf. And he's going to suspend an Ancestral Visions. Did Ian keep that to decay, or did he shuffle it back?
I did not see.
It is worth mentioning that Ian is playing red, so he's naturally going to be a favorite in a Goyf mirror. Zinni somehow doesn't break many sleeves, but he does shuffle the living crap out of his cards, which I respect. Cards are meant to be played.
Yes.
That's what I actually I undouble sleeved a lot of my decks because I got so sick of dealing with them.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Only double sleeve my legacy decks.
I undouble sleeved one of them. I was just like, I'm done. I'm probably going to undouble sleeve the other. It's just so much work. Ooh, we did find a Painful Truth. We found all spells. So no shuffle here, but all these spells are pretty good. Having double Pierce is probably not great, but having a second Goyf is pretty good. He would have to play second Goyf without Pierce up, which I think is fine this turn.
Yeah, I think so as well.
I mean, I guess, like, are you afraid of Jace? Oh man, attack, yes. Alright, I figured he was going to call, but worth trying. And second Goyf, and all you.
Okay.
Tick down the visions to 3. And, of course, he draws Liliana. Ooh, but he's not going to play it. He's going to play second Goyf. So we've got the Goyf on Goyf action here.
What do you think of that?
I think that's good. I mean, you want to block. Oh, yeah.
I mean, in terms of, like, just playing Liliana?
I mean, Liliana... I'm tempted to play Liliana there for sure.
Because, I mean, you're still planning on blocking either way.
Yes. Ooh, but we only hit spells here, so this Liliana is going to hit the table. Yeah, we've got Double Pierce, Deathrite, Pyromancer, Brainstorm. I think he's respecting days. That's got to be it.
Yeah.
Zinni's the type to very much play around these kind of cards. Yeah. He hates losing to them.
Maybe that's why Ian sided them all out.
Yeah, get him. Ooh, he did find a hymn here, though. And a land, so he can effectively play around a potential daze. Disfigure is also going to be fine. It's going to be able to trade with a Goyf. If he's lucky, I guess. This is pretty great news for Zinni, though, that he's going to be able to resolve this hymn and get 2 spells. Alright,
Yeah,
5 cards. Get that one. There's 1 Pierce. There's a Brainstorm. Alright, so he's left with Pierce, Pyromancer, and Deathrite?
Yeah, I didn't see it. Yeah, I don't know what the third one is. It looks like Deathrite, though.
So,
Ponders.
Ian's got a tough turn to navigate here. I have no clue what he's supposed to play.
I mean, yeah, I think you just ponder.
You ponder first? What land do you ponder off of?
Man.
Like, you probably have to ponder off Volk because alright, no, he's just going to play... You could ponder into second land here.
Yeah.
Alright, so you can play Deathrite. Say go. Disfigure on what? The Pyromancer? I guess because he has Liliana coming up, he needs that.
Yeah.
There's Liliana. It's going to come down. I have to sack the Deathrite. Goyf? Really?
Whoa.
I'm a little confused, but I mean, I guess I don't even know. I really don't know.
Oh man,
This is tough.
I
don't love. I think you're supposed to sack the
think you're
Death, right?
supposed to sack Death, right?
All right, ponder.
Like, I mean, if he sacks Death right, I feel like he has a few turns while they're still at parity. But like now he's just like pretty far behind.
I think Ian just like really wants the cards. He found Submerge, which is a real thing here. Let's see what he just has to draw here. I think he just wants the mana. I think that was the biggest thing here. I found Delver too.
Yeah.
The problem is this Ancestral Vision is going to come off suspend next turn. That's going to be... I don't know if he's going to be able to come back from that.
Yeah, and that's... Yeah. I don't think so either.
Alright, so Ancestral Visions target myself.
And
Spell Pierce. Make you pay
okay.
2. Does he have double Spell Pierce?
No, I think he's just taxing him. But I'm not... I don't know.
Kind of a spew.
Turn. Yeah, I'm not in love with that.
Alright, so we've got Jace Friend's Prodigy, Shardless Agent.
And Deluge? Is that it?
Ooh, Deluge would be a beating. Abrupt Decay, I believe.
Okay.
Alright, so there's Jace Friend's Prodigy. This seems pretty terrifying here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's got a fairly stocked graveyard.
Plus it shrinks a Goyf. I wouldn't expect him to attack afterwards. Delver flips to the Submerge. Like, what do you even submerge here? And he didn't even activate his Liliana. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
On the plus side, you do have the Deathrite that beats the Jace on board. It beats the Jace minus, at least. Alright, so these Goyfs are now 5/6s. I think we'll see. Oh, I don't think you can tap that land. Yeah. So yet again, this is like a really tough... Like, each land you tap is so weird.
Yeah, it's like... Because you pretty much just have to fetch these 3 lands every time.
Yeah, and then from there, you probably just make one of them redundant. I'm not even sure. Alright, so Ian is going to shuffle off that. He saw Deathrite, Delver, land. I think he's just looking for things that kill Goyf at this point.
Mm-hmm.
The Jace is effectively mitigated because of the Deathrite, at least the Jace minus, as long as he leaves up Underground Sea. He can play second Deathrite here. That's pretty great. But he's got to beat 3 spells in Zinni's hand. He's going to submerge the Jace. I think that's fine. I think just like slowing Zinni down is a reasonable thing to do.
Yeah, seems fine.
And he's just going to Deluge for 6. Alright, I think we're going to see a spell get eaten. Yep, the Brainstorm. Is it for 6 or is it for 5? Or for 2? I wonder if it's just for 2.
It's possible. And then you just jam.
Oh yeah, it's just for 2. I mean, this way he just like has a massive advantage.
Yeah.
He has Goyf advantage.
Yeah, and cards in hand.
Mm-hmm. He's winning the long game.
Yep. He's just more of everything.
Yes. He has more things.
Except cards in deck.
Yes. Yes. Ian just playing a Delver and passing.
He drew a Decay.
Oh yeah, at this point, like these Goyfs are just going to start getting frisky.
Lock it up, right?
I think so. Like Decay takes down Goyf.
And then
Jace comes in, and this is an attack for 10.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't think. I mean, what draws could Ian have? And from this spot right here, like I don't think anything.
Well, Jace didn't flip.
Okay.
Or Delver
well,
didn't flip. Yeah.
All right, get another draw step.
It's actually just it because he loots and gets to kill one of the Delvers.
Oh, yeah.
Or Deluge for 1. Kill both Delvers. And yeah, Shardless taking it down. Shardless doing its thing versus the Delver deck. I mean, I thought that Ian put up a pretty good fight in that last game. But he just couldn't come out on top. He just had to tap out too many turns.
Yeah, and it seemed like he wasn't... Like, he had some, little awkwardness of his own and wasn't really able to, I guess, keep on the... He wasn't so good at the denying Tony his mana.
Yeah, that really never came up. It wasn't like the rug game plan.
Yeah.
It was very different. Or at least it felt very different, and it executed in a sort of new way. I don't really know how the matchup is supposed to go if you want to win. Mm-hmm. It's not something I'm particularly familiar with. All right, that's going to be the end of this match. Let's see if we can get another match going. Do you want to run out there?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see.
Kevin's going to run out there, take a look, see if we can find something else to watch. We still have plenty of time left, and we have at least one lands deck here, so I have to imagine that there's someone still playing. Pretty common thing we have here is that we'll just Always have some lands players going no matter what, which is delightful. But I'm not sure. Hopefully we'll get another match going, though. And we know that Kyle Norman won his first round playing Retreat. Not sure what else. Yeah, the 4-color decks tend to have... They are rather susceptible to Wasteland. I have to imagine because of that, they're going to be more susceptible to other, more streamlined Delver versions. Yeah, I mean, all Delver decks are going to inherently be weak to Wasteland.
Okay, so we got Kyle Norman versus Brandon Salgado.
What is Brandon playing?
Burn?
No.
Probably. You don't watch Burn?
No, he's not playing Burn.
He's not playing Burn?
He...
Okay.
I only know that because he was getting Lingering Souls.
Okay.
I have no clue what he's actually playing. Do you know what game they're in?
No. I'll go next.
And you also go figure out what Brandon's playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do have a backup. Looks like we're getting some more Retreat action. Pretty small Legacy night tonight. I think we have 11 players or something like that. I think a lot of people coming back from the Grand Prix, a little tired. We're taking things easy. It's all right. Still got Legacy going. Oh, I gotta move Brandon's name over. Oh, he might be playing a... Yeah, I think he's playing a... He might be playing Esper Stoneblade. I'm not sure, though.
Okay, so Brandon won game 1 and is playing Jeskai Stoneblade.
He is playing Jeskai Stoneblade?
Yes.
All right, so he is playing Jeskai Stoneblade. You were right, UCB. Is UCB Ghost Ned?
I have no idea.
I don't know either. I said I was going to bring a mouse. I didn't, and I was punished for it. Repeatedly
I
punished.
don't have my mouse.
Kyle playing Retreat. Sorry, you said Brandon won game 1?
Brandon won game 1.
Alright. I'm going to run out there and adjust the camera.
Nice.
I'll be right back.
So it looks like we got Kyle on a mulligan.
Alright. I'll take it. This is good enough. Alright. Let's see how these hands are looking. Kyle's mulliganing to 5.
Oh, a mulligan to 5. Okay.
He's got a Zenith and a Jace and 3 lands. That seems like a really quick keep. He's just going to... It doesn't matter what he's doing. He's going to Zenith for Dryad Arbor here, right?
I think so.
He's going to bottom? Alright. I mean, he's just...
Maybe he doesn't want to play it?
No, he's doing it. You gotta get the...
Sure.
I feel like that's the only way you're going to win this game on a
Yeah,
mull of
you
5.
just gotta slam a Jace as soon as
Yeah.
possible. Yeah.
Is that a Meddling Mage in Brandon's hand? That's probably good news if you're Kyle.
Yes.
Because I would be surprised if it named Jace.
Yeah, I can't believe he's going to name Jace. Unless he's just a master. Which
Is possible.
is possible.
If he has the soul... if he just has, like, the soul read. Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Yeah.
We're done. We're done here. Alright, that's going to be it for Kyle's turn 1. When
And it's like, and yeah, I think it's real tough to name Jace here because, like, I mean, with Green Sun for Dryad Arbor, Kyle's threatening like either a turn 2 Jace or retreat.
Mm-hmm. You mean turn 2 Knight?
Knight or retreat, yeah.
If he has a Swords here, this is pretty disgusting, though. Swords or a Bolt. I guess these decks can actually have access to both, so he's getting Tundra.
Yeah, the combo of Sword Splashers and Lightning Bolt.
It makes more sense in this deck than it does in like blue-white red Delver.
Yeah.
I know that's one thing some people always said drove them crazy, and
Yeah.
for good reason. What's a Ponder? Ponder on turn 1 for Brandon. We see 3 cards here. See if we find any we like. There's the Swords of Plowshares. And 2 lands. He is going to keep.
Well,
He must not be
what else
flush
does-
with lands.
yeah, what else does he have in hand? Looks like
A lot of spells.
Okay. Well, he has a fetch, so
And a Brainstorm.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Another land. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Playing the Taiga and attacking for 1. Do you just... Man, it's got to be pretty tempting to just snap off a Swords of the Plowshares here.
I am also tempted. He doesn't. He clearly doesn't have a knight in hand unless he's like playing around days or anything, which I don't think Stoneblade decks do.
No.
Oh,
I preemptively went to change the life totals as soon as I saw that land tap. All right, Brainstorming coming for Brandon. I think this is the first time Brandon's played a Brainstorm deck in Legacy, which has got to be a new feeling.
he might have played this deck before. Is that possible?
Maybe. I don't know. He was playing Burn for a while.
Yeah.
It's... I will say, I mean, I don't know if anyone said this. Like, I started off on a non Brainstorm deck. I started off with, and so did you, Dredge. We both started off with Dredge, just because. I mean, I certainly started off on it because it was the cheapest available Legacy deck initially, and I thought it was a cool deck. I also built it before it had LEDs in them.
Okay.
I finished building the deck, and then literally like the next week, Dark Ascension came out, and I was like, "Why me?" And then I was like, "Okay, if I'm gonna get LEDs, I'm just gonna build Storm."
Yeah.
So I did that, and it's a real weird thing going from playing a Brainstorm deck to not. So going from not playing it to playing it.
Yeah, it's definitely much different.
All right, so if you're Kyle, do you play around Spell Pierce? I say no.
I don't think so.
You rolled a 5. Just
you can't
go.
afford to.
Hey, yeah, Juvie, I was hoping someone would say something about 12 post. Miracles will always fear 12 posts.
Yes.
Anytime things get strange, just sleeve up those Vesuvas and Glimmer posts and Candelabras. I don't know. That deck is very bad.
The deck is bad, but that didn't stop it from beating me.
I've lost to it before.
One of Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Had to have been Milwaukee.
I lost to it in. Where did I lose to it in? Milwaukee. I lost to it in St. Louis.
Okay.
Because I expected there to be a basic island in the deck. A basic forest, and there was only a basic island. Meddling Mage coming down. Can you figure out what the Meddling Mage is naming? Nope. All right, we figured it out. It's neither Reliquary, guys. Yeah, we we figured it out. It all makes sense now. So Brandon's still representing Spell Pierce? Yeah, we figured it out. So this is an interesting spot. We're in the same position where Kyle can jam Jace, but he still is not able to beat a Spell Pierce. I just don't want to hold it.
I really don't think you can afford to.
And, yep, Kyle's just going to keep it. He's going to wait. The problem is just going to, Brandon's just going to keep playing more creatures, and he's going to fall further and further behind.
Yeah, you're going to get to a spot where, this Jace, it's just not going to do anything. He's going to play it.
It'll die.
It'll die. Resolve, and it'll do nothing.
The biggest problem by far is if Brandon plays a True Name here.
Yes.
I think that's one thing that his deck is not well equipped to beat at all. He has, I think he has a Council's Judgment in his sideboard, and that's his only way to beat a Resolve True Name.
Yeah. Especially not his hand. I think if, assuming he can, get his combo going, then True Name is obviously not a problem. Certain Wolf Run scenarios.
Yeah, exactly. That's about it, though.
Yeah.
Juvie, I'm aware that Miracles plays Blood Moon, and I would be surprised if that was good enough to beat Cloud Post.
I think they are expecting Blood Moon.
Yes. It's that's the thing. Most Cloud Post decks probably have, between 2 and 4 Crossing Grips in their sideboard.
Yeah, and play main deck Pithing Needles to not lose to Wasteland.
Yep.
And
all sorts of goofiness like that. It's a weird deck.
It's a weird deck.
Miracles is great though. I'm not going to deny that. I think Miracles is a very good deck, but it's eminently beatable.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to see how Miracles can lose. Look at the top 4 match between Jarvis Yu and Brian Demars from the Grand Prix.
Yes, that was.
Watch Miracles get utterly smashed. That was
in,
amazing.
5 total turns or something?
I would say 5 total minutes and also 5 total turns. My hero, Jarvis Yu.
Yep.
Oh my god, what a wonderful display of chicanery. Alright, we're seeing a fetch. on Kyle's side of the board. And there's a Jace. So this is what we were talking about. Like, this is the issue. He gets this Jason play around Spell Pierce if Brandon has it, which I don't believe he does. But like, now what do? You can bounce the Meddling Mage, which doesn't do much. Now you're just casting a 4-mana Brainstorm. I guess you can block.
Yeah, you can
not something
try and block.
Yes.
But we know Brandon has that swords lurking around.
Ooh, he's putting back He's putting back Zenith? Don't you want to put back the Knight?
He has second Zenith.
But don't you want to put back the Knight because you can't cast it?
Oh, yeah.
That
makes sense.
I mean, I think a Knight is worse than a land here. Alright.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
Alright, Brandon gonna untap, draw for turn.
Yeah, like you already have 2 Knights in your hand. You don't need a third.
And Brandon just drew Pyroblast. So like, that's another card that you just like can't play around at any point because it just gets you. Brandon's deck seems extremely well set up to beat Kyle's.
Yes.
Yep. Pyroblast your Jace. Bang. Dead. I don't even know if how good Meddling Mage is in this matchup. Just because I actually don't. Actually, no. I don't like Meddling Mage in this matchup. I'm going to go and say it. I think the problem is that the main problem is like what you name. So what happened here? Kyle named. So Brandon named Neither Reliquary. Kyle can just Zenith for it.
Yeah, I definitely don't think naming Knight is good.
It's not. I don't think it's very powerful.
I
think you could do better things.
I mean, you could name like Green Sun Zenith. You could name like, you can name Retreat, like cards that he actually has to cast.
For what it's worth, I talked to Jarvis about the matchup, and he says that he's favored post board against Miracles, and I'm going to trust him in that regard. I do think Miracles is favored in the matchup, but it would not surprise me if Lands was more comfortable post board, especially when they board in a bunch of spheres and just port you out of your life. Miracles is fine. Like, it's a fine deck. It's not oppressive in any way. You could just lose because sometimes you're awkward. Your deck is awkward.
Yeah.
I've beaten it with Elves. I've beaten it with Storm. It's fine. All right, let's see what Kyle has here. He's got a Zenith for 2. All right, so if this resolves, this is pretty great. He gets to at least get the Batterskull out. All right, this is how Kyle gets to crawl back in this game.
Yeah, this is definitely what needs to happen.
All right.
So the Jace was not bad. It drew him 2 Green Sun Zeniths.
Yep. I mean, and it put back 2 lands,
Yeah.
more importantly. Kyle gonna have to main phase this, not let Brandon get to 3 mana.
Yeah.
Nothing Brandon can do. This is sort of the problem. So Brandon did this to play around Vendilion Click, but this is the problem. You expose yourself to removal.
Do you think it's reasonable to play around Click there?
I don't think I would.
I don't think I would. It just doesn't seem like a card that Kyle would really be playing. I mean, like, obviously he is. I mean, like...
We know Kyle has it.
Yeah, we know Kyle has it.
Brandon probably saw it in game 1.
Yeah.
But I don't think you need to play around it. Like, Kyle Mulligan to 5.
Yeah.
It's not the biggest deal. Not sure if Brandon just drew that turn. I believe it was a cantrip. See a True Name? Oh, a Snapcaster Mage, I think, was his draw. Which is pretty amazing. Alright, there's a Ponder. See a Brainstorm, a Swords of Plowshares, like another removal spell, and another Brainstorm. This is amazing.
Yeah, like Kyle's just playing, like, all of Kyle's cards just cost like 1 more mana than all of Brandon's cards.
That's how it feels, yeah. Alright, attack for 3. True Name? True Name. Alright, here's the test. Can you outrace my 3 mana, my 3/1 Progenitus? Alright, so Kyle draw Brainstorm. Oh man, Sigarda? Sigarda? Every time! How does this keep coming up? This doesn't make any sense.
Well, you might win this game.
I mean,
he just...
I was gonna comment that he should. I was expecting him to Brainstorm first, before this Zenith resolve because he's losing a shuffle. Yeah, then you get it. But I always just forget you could just get this stinking 5/5.
Yeah.
Sigarda. All right, can't kill it. Go.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Brandon has like multiple Swords of Plowshares in his hand, none of which kill that Sigarda. All right, Brainstorm.
I think he should still be okay.
Tundra Force and Will Spell Pierce. He's going to keep the Force of Will in his hand. I mean, he loses this... No, he wins this race, I believe. Attacks Kyle to 8. Kyle can attack him to 10, but then there's 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
And he could always swords one of his... He could always, like, swords his Stoneforge to, like, you know, get an extra turn.
This is going to be a really big brainstorm.
Yeah.
Found Pithing Needle, Crozen Grip, and Green Sun Zenith. So I'd imagine that Knight
Yeah, I get that knight.
and
here.
Needle are leaving. Needle doesn't
Found
really do
another
much right
Pride
here.
Mage.
Needle or Grip?
Uh,
I think you put back Needle. Yeah. He also found another Zenith.
yeah, Needle isn't super great.
Do you Zenith for a Knight here?
Um,
Yeah, I think so. So there's Pride Mage.
which I don't hate just playing it.
I kind of do.
Probably. You do hate it?
Well, was he going to Zenith for Noble Hierarch? Yeah, I think that's what he's getting here.
This- I mean, this, you know, plays around. Well,
This doesn't.
He has
The problem is this doesn't increase the clock,
so
but it does give him blockers.
it does. It gives him blockers and lets him kill Brandon in the same number of turns through, like, a swords on his own creatures or like, you know, something else.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I mean he. We'll see. I mean, the double swords really complicates this because the swords on the Noble Hierarch is free.
No attacks.
No, I think we're in the beginning of combat.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
attack for 6. This puts Brandon to 9. Brandon can't block. He's just gotta take it.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, and he's gonna swords the Solid Pride Mage. This will put Kyle to 10. Now there's an attack back for 5, which will put Kyle to 5. I think Brandon is going to be able to inch this one out. We'll see. This is very close.
No, you can swing back for 6.
3, 4. Oh, sorry,
4 out of
6.
Yeah.
That's one less than he needs it to be, though. All right, this puts Kyle to 4.
So this does. So now Brandon has lethal through the Dryad Arbor blocking Meddling Mage.
Yes. Yeah, and Kyle just drew a land for a turn, so now he can't attack with Sigarda,
No.
or else he dies. Yep, it's just passing.
Yeah.
Sword Splasher doesn't do anything. Only like Lightning Bolt would change the math here. The Lightning Bolt will be lethal no matter what because he could just bolt his face. So you just attack with... Yep, just attack with the True Name. Put you to 1. Now Kyle just has to draw basically exactly Council's Judgment.
Wolf Run.
Wolfram. Wolfram be lethal? No. It would be exactly lethal.
Yeah.
So he has to click himself. but Brandon has the Force of Will.
Yeah.
I think you just force this. I mean, honestly, do you?
I think you have to.
I don't think you care. Whatever.
Yeah, like,
You can't be the True Name.
yeah.
There's nothing you could do. Like, what uncounterable thing could he do to be True Name here?
He has to. Yeah, there's nothing. Like, he can't. Like,
Yeah.
Wolf Run's not an out at this point.
Yeah, Juvie. That's what I was thinking he was going to do the turn before. Was like
Yeah.
was Zenith for Knight because then once that got swords, he was going to gain a bunch of life and probably get out of range instead of just playing both the Pride Mage and the Hierarch. Thought he lost a lot of
Probably
value.
wins the race.
I think so. I think he lost a lot of value Zenithing for the Noble Hierarch.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, plays the land and that's it. Brandon takes it down. Just got Stoneblade taking down Retreat combo in 2 games. That was a very, very close game. I think it's... I have no clue, but it seems like Kyle might have been able to sneak out of that one.
It seemed... It's possible that it was winnable.
I think so. I mean, anything is possible.
Yeah.
Anything could have happened there, but a very tightly fought match, and well played by Brandon and Kyle, both sides. I think the critical turn there was deciding what to zenith for, and like playing the 2 creatures or just zenithing for the just zenithing for night and hoping it's good enough.
Yeah.
Or hoping the life that you would have gained is good enough. The Caracas in play is not much. Honestly, I don't think you need to force a will because it doesn't stop the it doesn't stop the true name. Like the true name is the only thing that matters. So the only card you need to stop,
What?
the only card you need to stop from resolving is a Council's Judgment in that spot, or obviously anything that kills a true name nemesis.
Yeah.
Who we want next?
Good question. I want to see. Do you want to go see pairings and just pick something out? All right. We're sending Kevin out to go look at some pairings
How's the field live?
and see some sweet stuff. I'm not sure what, but assuming it'll be good. Everything can be okay sometimes. I think the retreat deck can go wider than Stoneblade. I mean, Kyle mulled before that game. It's kind of like it's like a Maverick deck close to anything. It's like a. I don't know if you were familiar with the Natural Order Bant decks of days ago, but it's very similar to that deck, where instead of playing Natural Order and a random Progenitus you'll draw and hate yourself for drawing, instead you have these retreats in your deck, which are obviously better to draw than Progenitus. Sometimes worse to draw than Natural Order. But it's just, it's a Knight of the Reliquary deck. It's okay at beating down. I think I'd be happier if there was a way for it to beat down a little bit better, but I've been impressed with that Sigarda. That Sigarda's looked good both times. Yeah, oh yeah, I think Maverick is a more effective deck. Maverick's a really good deck. Not a deck I really enjoy playing personally, but I'm also just like not a fan of Mother of Runes strategies in general. Hard to get me excited over Mother of Runes. I'm sorry. I won't do it. Looks like we do have someone sitting down. Not sure whom. Nor am I sure what deck he's playing. Guess we will find out in a second. I think he's playing against Sydney. If it's Sydney, then I'm pretty sure we've got some Shardless going on here. I think we have... It's Shardless. Sydney has both Shardless and Death and Taxes, so it's either of those 2 decks. Hopefully we see some pretty interesting stuff. I'm not hoping for too much. I just want to see good magic.
Kevin smoking cigarettes out, I'm jumping in.
Alright.
We have Brett Harrison in the red.
Oh, it's Brett. Okay.
Yeah. Playing Pox tonight.
Pox?
Black-white Pox.
Are they both 1/1?
Yes.
Black-white Pox?
I saw Scrubland, but I'm assuming it's black-oriented. He might have just, like, white for Lingering Souls. Just Lingering Souls.
That would make sense.
Yeah. I believe it's just the Lingering Souls.
That's how you spell his last name, right?
Correct. Oh, there might not be a K in there.
Oh, okay. I'll remove the K. And on the left?
We have Ian Tashner. IANTASCHNER.
Playing.
He is on lands.
Ooh, just red-green lands?
I think it's a normal bill of lands.
I'll say lands.
He's not as experienced as Bowman, because him and Bowman actually played in the first round, and Bowman quite handedly defeated him.
That's a matchup that is very, very dependent on experience, from what I can tell. I don't know if you read Jarvis's article, but he talked a lot how he played the mirror in one of his things, and his opponent just made a few like small misplays that little things like letting.
Oh
him...
my God! Main deck card.
Oh jeez!
Woohoo!
Well, that's not very nice.
Oh my God! That's Brett Erickson might have just came with like the best deck to like tech this whole tournament.
I guess so. Juvie, no, this deck is not called Dead Guy L. Dead Guy L is a black-white mid-range deck that's similar. It's like a... I would say it's a very awkward Death and Taxes deck. It's like Dark Confidant.
Or like rock without green.
Yeah, that's another way, yeah. It's discard spells, Stoneforge Mystics.
Land destruction spells.
Sometimes single, yeah.
Back in the day, it started with sinkholes.
Yeah, I think the cards got better than just play Hymn to Torak now. But it's like Hymn to Torak, Dark Confidant, Stoneforge Mystic, Mother of Runes. It does not play Aether Vial, if I remember correctly.
Do not. Does not. Nope.
Tight Hollow Sculler. Stuff like that.
I did not know he has a main deck leyline.
Main deck leyline is some hateful stuff, and it looks like he's fetched up a swamp on turn 1 off of a marsh flats.
Yep. I don't know how Ian's gonna win through this. Actually,
He's gonna draw the combo.
he's gonna have to naturally draw the combo. And judging from his start, he probably didn't have this.
Turn 1 port? Yeah, turn 1 port, no exploration,
Yeah.
no Mox Diamond.
It's a lot. He does have a color source, but he chose not to reveal it.
He's got another port. He's got this. He has Sage.
Okay.
I mean, he's in line. He's got Grove. Although I assume that Grove will not be super relevant this game. I have to imagine that Brett has nothing.
He's just trying to slow
out.
down Brett at this point. Like, he can't get his engine going now.
All right.
Port down a swamp on his upkeep.
Oh, he's going to actually play the second port here. Yeah, main deck leylines are definitely good in the meta of 2 lands decks.
Yeah, there's actually 2 lands decks here and 2 miracles decks here.
Yeah, leyline's fine against them.
Fine against that, but the matchup, Pox is just huge favorite against miracles. In general.
What? Because of the 4 Lilianas?
They have Liliana's, discard Lingering Souls. They're just...
I guess Lingering Souls is like, if he has Lingering Souls is amazing against against the Pox deck. All right, so we have Isolated Chapel, Legacy All-Star.
Legacy All-Star.
Coming in on turn 3 here. All right. Not enough mana to play anything impactful, so we're going to see a pass back.
Is that another port?
I think that was...
That's a Wasteland, okay.
That's a much better draw than port.
That's a much better allow.
Alright, yeah.
Mana denial playing. Just slow him down, gives him time to draw these combo pieces from
Yep.
Land's player.
All right, so Wasteland, your Chapel, port your Swamp. Brett draws. Is that a Caracas? Wow. Actually, that's an unbelievably good draw.
We should show what a leyline does.
Turn 1 Leyline Void against lands.
Nice.
Turn 0.
Yeah.
I used to think that Kevin has... I'm pretty sure... Actually, no. I'm still convinced that Kevin has a box or 7 of these at home that he just, like, leaves... That he uses for, like, kindling in the winter.
I wish. I only have a set.
See, I think I'm just going to start hoarding Trinispheres.
That seems great.
Trinispheres and Chalices. I'm just sick. I'm sick of them, man. All right, so Ian has drawn... It looks like another Thespian Stage. He has double Grove... Stage. I think he has double Stage and Forest. He's got a lot to work through this game, especially because Brett keeps making his land drops, and now because of that Caracas, he needs another Wasteland, or else he can't actually combo.
Yeah.
Because
He does... What does Brett have in hand? Like, how much time does Ian have right now?
I don't know. I have no clue what is in Brett's hand.
Because, like... Black-white box. So we're expecting, what, some, like, Lingering Souls, maybe?
That's what we were thinking. All right, so here's a port on Brett's upkeep, tapping down Caracas. There's a Wasteland of his.
Looks like...
I think he has...
Innocent Blood?
He has at least Innocent Blood in his hand. If he has Liliana here, I think he's going to start pulling ahead.
Yes.
Liliana will start pressuring Ian's land drops, and then he's going to be forced to run things out a little more aggressively. I love the draft swamps to go along with the altered Caracas and altered Marsh Flats. Would anyone know if there's a red spell that allows you to return a creature from your graveyard to your hand? Kolaghan's Command.
Nice. Rise Fall.
Rise Fall, yep.
Although I guess technically...
There are probably no strictly red cards that,
Yeah.
that fill that spot. Oh yeah, he does have Liliana. And Smallpox in his hand. Here's Liliana the Veil. Ian obviously has no response. Liliana ticking up. Brett discarding a useless Innocent Blood, and Ian discarding a Grove of the Burn Willows. I think we're going to start seeing some double port action, although have to imagine that Brett's Wasteland's going to take out one of these ports pretty soon. Or he could just hold the Wasteland. Ooh, Exploration's a great draw.
Oh yeah, that is great. That is amazing.
And he has Crop Rotation? Actually, this is pretty amazing. Although he has Loam, which doesn't do anything. He has Mazebith, which is also irrelevant. I think you just play your non-maze lands here and just see if you can find a spot. Actually...
Is it insane to just, like, play Grove, crop rotate for Wasteland, and waste his Wasteland?
Yes.
That is insane.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you need to beat the Caracas.
True.
The Caracas, I think, is actually more important than the Wasteland.
Okay.
But either of them you can port down. You just need to keep making your land drops. The problem is that the threat of the ultimate is going to be very real, because Brett's just going to kill half of Ian's lands, and Ian can't loam them back. Mm-hmm. One cute thing, if Brett goes to just, like, waste this stage right here, Ian can just copy Forest. That is a thing that comes up.
That I hope that happens.
Yeah, Crows and Grip is certainly coming in here. Ian will have probably three copies of Crows and Grip in his sideboard, all of which are coming in just for the card Leyline of the Void. Man, main deck Leyline's such a beating.
It is brutal.
I don't even think you poured here. I think you let him have his turn. Just say sure. Have fun. Brett draws. That's another Marsh Flats. The third one of the game. Let's see if he decides to find a scrubland this time, or if he wants to just go for another swamp. Oh, doesn't look like he's interested.
Yeah, swamp seems fine. You don't really need to.
No, yeah, you don't really need to do much here.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
What just happened?
so he has Helm of Obedience in his hand.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
Is there a way to stop that with crop rotation? Is there, what?
I don't think so.
All right, I gotta read Helm just because I need to know. That makes sense for why he's playing this. Target opponent puts cards from the top of his or library to his graveyard until a creature card or X cards are put in the graveyard. Whenever it comes first, if a creature card is put in the graveyard, but yeah, okay. So this is, yeah, that's it. That's just the game. Game over. So he has the Helm Leyline combo, and that just ends the game immediately for Ian. So we're gonna go to game 2 here. Jeez, that was sweet.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, well, somewhat anticlimactic, but
I think Ian's just like, yeah, this is what I wanted to do. This is my.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're just gonna go to game 2 here. I think he was explaining the rules interactions to Brett here. I don't know if Brett has played against lands before, but yeah, he's explaining the way stage and depths works. I've explained this combo I think 1,000 times now, but I am not afraid to explain it again. Thespian Stage copies Dark Depths. They are both legendary. You choose to keep the Thespian Stage copied version by the new legendary rule. Thespian Stage, Dark Depths says if it has no ice counters on it, sacrifice it and get a 20/20. Thespian Stage copied will not maintain the ice counters from Dark Depths, so it will immediately trigger and sacrifice and give you your 20/20. Fun thing, if you have Stifle in your deck, don't try and stifle that trigger, because once you stifle it, it'll just trigger again. It triggers as many times as possible until it resolves. Every time state-based effects are checked.
yes.
If you want to stifle something, you stifle the copy ability from Thespian Stage, and hope to draw a Wasteland. Yep.
You take your one turn and be happy.
Yeah, Brett's even got Sinkhole. This seems like a pretty rough matchup for
Yeah,
lands.
this seems kind of brutal.
I mean, honestly, you can beat most of these things as long as Leyline's not in play.
Yeah, because yeah, I mean, if he just has like an exploration on turn 1 and with no leyline, like,
Yeah, that seems great. Like,
quite beatable. He just needs to get out ahead.
yes, it's the number one thing here. Not falling behind and having something like a exploration. It looks like he's boarding out the Mana Bond. I think Mana Bond's pretty good. Ooh, he does have the actual token.
Yeah,
Respect.
pretty sweet.
There's Needle. There's K-Grip. Yeah, K-Grip coming in. There's Chalice of the Voids. He's got a lot of artifact hate. Oh, there's 2 more grips. Yeah, his sideboard I think was just like multiple sphere resistances, multiple Trinospheres, and multiple Chalices of the Void.
Yeah,
Didn't look
man,
like.
he is packing.
Oh yeah. Karanka Spouts your Merit Lage does feel pretty awful if you're playing the lands deck. Something you gotta play around. Yeah, Stifle is a pretty poor card against lands in general. It's usually something I see the Delver decks use to either prevent themselves from getting wastelanded or buy a turn for the most part. It's like the same reason you board and Submerge. You just need to buy as much time as possible. Let's see. We'll see how this matchup turns out to be post-board. I mean, like, Brett has a lot of great tools, but I think Leyline is unsurprisingly one of the best ones. He probably also has stuff like Extirpate or Surgical Extraction in his sideboard, which can be very, very, very potent against Life from the Loam or Punching Fire. Although, honestly, I've watched, in my games where I've watched lands, it seems like it's relatively easy to play around Surgical. Specifically with Loam, Just you just don't do it unless you have a Tranquil Thicket.
Yeah.
And never, put yourself in a position where you have to cycle it with not in response. Hold it.
Brett.
Left in Innocent Blood?
Yeah, left in Innocent Blood. Well, no wonder it's a mulligan. He kept an Innocent.
I mean, we don't know what's in Brett's sideboard.
It's not...
But I would definitely say you don't want any copies of Innocent Blood in your deck post board. I mean, I would just rely on the Karak. If he puts a Merit Lage into play, it's going to be on your end step. I think it's very ambitious to try and snipe a Merit Lage.
Yes.
With Innocent Blood. Lands. I think Lands is like a reasonably slow deck. I mean, it's a prison deck. It's a prison combo deck. Mm-hmm. But if you draw Exploration, your deck just all of a sudden does ridiculous things.
Yeah.
Whenever I see Exploration in
used
play,
it's a lot faster than it used to be. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, it didn't used to have the stage combo,
Yep.
so you just like do nothing for a while.
Like, well, I'll loan back my Barbarian Ring.
All right, Brett gonna keep his 6 Scry. That's a Crocus. He has Tombstalker and Lingering Souls in his hand. His hand looks very slow.
Very slow.
Do we have it? Do we have it? We have it.
Okay.
I mean, I keep this 6, basically no matter what, if there's a Leyline in play. Ian, do we have...
Multiple Crows and Grips.
Okay. Perfect. That's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Mox Diamond. Discarding probably Caracas.
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, what do you...
Gotta.
Yeah, I think it's basically just a Plains that gets wastelanded.
Do you like board out Caracas here? If you're...
I can definitely see boarding it out. He's got... he actually has the combo and grip, so this hand's great.
Yeah, this hand is great.
And port. I think you just play port and pass and just port him on his end step.
Yep.
Yeah, lands was much slower before the legendary rule change. All right, yeah, Swamp go. You could just run out you can port him, have some fun, but no, he's just gonna say whatever. Draw his card for turn. Probably play the stage here, and pass. Oh, he's just gonna do it now. Get out. Crows Grip, kill it. The grip will in fact go to the graveyard because the Leyline is destroyed before the Crows Grip resolves.
Yes.
I think that's what they're discussing right now. What should be happening, I think that's what Ian is explaining right now. It's very similar to if you abrupt. It's exactly the same, I would say, as if you abrupt decay.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. That's the interaction that comes up the most.
Except this rest in peace, like this ley line will go to Brett's graveyard.
Yes. Oh wait, no, this is wrong. The grip should be in the graveyard. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Check with Steve just in case. But the finals was Christian Calcano was playing quote unquote 4-color Delver, which is actually just Grixis Delver. Originally designed by Eric Rill, about 1.5 years ago or something like that. Deck was great. Yeah, I would not have wanted to play Reanimator if I was Jarvis. Much rather have played. Been happy with the Delver matchup. Delver's such a good matchup. Cool. All right, Brett playing Isolated Chapel on turn 2. Does he have Sinkhole? He's got Smallpox. All right, this is pretty good. We're both going to sack a land and discard a card.
You definitely sack port here if you're Ian, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You sack port, and you probably just discard the redundant grip. I don't think you play around him. Yeah, because he's going down to 1 land here. I don't think you play around him getting to 4 mana and playing another Leyline.
I don't think so.
Just, I don't think there's another thing you're
need
afraid
the.
of. Oh, no, he's going to discard Depths. I guess it's also fine. Doesn't tap for mana.
Yeah.
Oh, he's sacking stage. I guess keeping port makes sense. Like, you're just trying to find Loam at this point.
Yeah.
And you can, port him off mana. Actually, yeah, I think Ian is right here. You definitely should keep port. I'll correct myself. Oh, light from off the top.
Rewarded.
Beautiful. And we'll Loam. Let's get those 2 back. Loam was probably the exact perfect draw here. Ian getting back literally the combo. wisely not playing Grove first. Now he gets to play Stage, and now he's setting himself up for an end of turn 2020 next turn.
Yep. And
Brett playing Mishra's Factory. And he's going to flashback Lingering Souls that he discarded. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I hope you all know that I have just lost my mind. Oh, this is killing me. Yeah, he cut the Edric. Calcano cut the Edric. It was actually 3 cards off Real's list, UCB. He cut the Tropical Island for another fetch land. Oh, I'm aware. The camera. Oh my god. This is killing me. I have actually just died. You all watched me die. It was right here. Holy God. Alright. Thankfully, Kevin ran out there and fixed it for both of us. We're all in good shape now. Alright, Loam getting dredged on Ian's draw step. He's going to play Dark Depths. He's not going to cast Loam. He's going to pass and make Brett have to have something to stop this 2020 from coming in. Luckily for Brett, he does have the Caracas he's been holding since turn 1. Wisely slow rolling it for as long as possible.
oh my god, that's perfect.
Yeah, well done. Brett also happens to have chump blockers. These chump blockers are going to be good against the incoming 2020. Is he just passing? All right. Do my thing. Keep that one. Trigger. And here's Merit Lage. Alright, I think Ian describing the interaction. Yeah, now Ian describing the interaction. We'll pull up Dark Depths just to explain this. So yeah, the stage copy will have no ice counters. It says when Dark Depths has no ice counters on it, sacrifice it. So there it goes. Alright, we've got the 2020. When is this? When did this happen? This must have happened. Oh, God. I guess this happened in Brett's upkeep or something? That's the only explanation.
Yeah, it is the only explanation.
Well, now we've got to get to a point where... oh, he's just going to draw for turn. I think he's just trying to draw Exploration. That's every time I see a lands player do that, I have to imagine they're trying to draw... Oh, no, he has Loam in his hand. Never mind. But, oh, he did it in combat? Oh, I'm not a fan of that. All right.
I'm not either.
Loam being cast, getting back. Thespian Stage, Tranquil Thicket, which is definitely a good choice, and the Depths.
The Tranquil Thicket is actually great.
Yes. So he's going to be able to play this fetch land here. He's just going to pass. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's dying. Whatever. I like that he is just like, I'm not even going to attack.
Yeah.
All right, Brett drawing another Lingering Souls. Pretty annoying card, surprisingly, here. Because Ian's got to take some time to get to the point where he can port Caracas and make a 2020.
I mean, he's also just finding a couple, if he can just loam into some wastelands.
Yeah, exactly.
That would also actually kind of, that'd probably just lock up the game for him. Not lock up, but...
This is Eric Rill's Delver list that he used to win the Star City Games Open in Milwaukee about a year and a half ago. Pack Rat? All right. That's a clock.
Oh my god.
That is certainly a clock.
I mean, Brett just wins now, right?
I think so. We got to find some wastelands is what's going to happen here. Crop Rotation, Grove of the Burn Willows, and Glacial Chasm?
Glacial Chasm.
All right.
Sure.
There is a Glacial Chasm.
A little hasty.
Yeah, we might have been mistaken. Excuse us. All right. Stage coming down. Stage coming down. Unfortunately, he has Mishra's Factory and not Mutable here.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree. You can do lands up front in your lands deck.
Yes.
Because you're basically... I mean, like, look. You can barely
It's
tell
just
that it's
your whole
lands up
board.
front. It's just lands.
Yeah. It's just... these are all my permanents.
You could actually make an argument that it's lands in back. You would never know.
Yeah. It's just... Well, it's like do you put your tabernacle with your lanes? Do you put your tabernacle in front, behind?
I appreciate when people put their tabernacles separate.
Yeah. He's like, my tabernacles and my mazes are up front. My mana lands.
I will say, I like that. The reason that people were the reason that there were things he hadn't looked up earlier is because most of Ian's deck is foreign.
Oh yeah, I noticed that when I was checking the. His grip was foreign. It's like we can't even.
Yeah, I think specifically his combo is foreign as well,
Yep.
which is why Brett was looking up those cards as we saw. Let's see. All right, so Ian going to cast Loam and pass back to Brett. Brett going to fetch down to 19.
Wisely getting a basic swamp.
Oh yeah, play around those wastelands.
Yeah.
That's somehow his first basic land this game. Oh, I guess he sacrificed one to the smallpox earlier. Brett going to untap and draw. I don't know what that one... Oh, the power?
I guess so.
Oh, I guess because he has other tokens. This is once again echoing our previous sentiment. If you play a deck with tokens, have tokens.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what they are, as long as they are distinguishable from one another.
Exactly. Well, Brett did draw a wasteland here. This is sort of the problem with Ian's plan. Without exploration going, it's going to be hard for him to fight through all the annoying disruption out of the Pox deck.
Yeah, yes.
Just a
He's
lot of
gonna
it-
have a lot of trouble actually comboing.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Wasteland is.
It's fine. It's going to be good. All right, yeah, so... Oh, yeah, here's the combo. Discard Lingering Souls, making a Pack Rat. Hey man, CPT. All of Jarvis's cards were in a foreign language. He won a GP. It's got to be right. All right, Ian going down to 13 from this hit for 4, and a pass back. See if Loam gets dredged again here. I think Ian's just got to find a wasteland. Is he gonna cycle Tranquil Thicket on his end step? I think that's what he's thinking about here. Yep. Cycle, and replace with dredge.
And I think I like this. I don't think you have time to play around a surgical extraction at this point.
Nope.
Uh,
Mox Diamond. Gamble. Dark Depths. All blanks, effectively.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's draw Exploration. This is the card.
yeah, that would be huge.
Go to our draw step. Tranquil Thicket. It's another redraw.
Yeah.
Just do that now. Or is he going to Loam? I think we're going to see a Loam.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
I kind of just want to keep Tranquil Thicketing and just try and find a stupid exploration.
Yeah. But like if you loam first, you just get to see more cards if you're looking for I guess it depends what you really want to see.
I think the card he wants to find more than anything else is Exploration right now.
Yes.
I could be wrong. It's hard for me to tell what matters a lot of the time with the lands deck, just because it's a weird creature. It's hard to understand what's going on.
Yeah, I guess my understanding is that Exploration is always the net in the deck.
That's what I've
It's
understood.
like,
Yeah.
if you have Exploration, you're set.
Yes. I would say you're just winning. You're always winning, especially against decks with creatures in them.
Yeah.
All right, so Ian is going to get back Glacial Chasm. Does he have to play Glacial Chasm this turn? No, he's just going to get it Wastelanded.
Yeah, and he doesn't. He's not dying. Or
Is he dying this turn?
1, 2, so 8, 10.
Yeah, I think it's at most 10. All right, so yeah, this play is
This
is not going to work out at all.
No, this
He's just going to get
makes it
Wastelanded.
incredibly difficult for him to win.
Yeah, I understand Ian's strategy here, which is just I have to play my Glacial Chasm or else I'm going to take too much damage. But Brett's just going to Wasteland it. Well, this Tombstalker is... I don't mean to rag on Tombstalker, but it is foul.
It is.
I am not a fan of Tombstalker.
I think you don't have to rag on Tombstalker. The the number of people that have played Tombstalker lately says enough.
It's true.
About the card.
Yeah.
It's like the printed Gurmag Angler. It's like, why do you need?
All right, so there's Lingering Souls. I think Brett's waiting until the turn where he can kill him in one attack.
Or no, he's
gonna make a
he's gonna
rat.
another rat.
Flashback Lingering Souls? Okay, well... I don't think Brett is familiar with what Glacial Chasm does.
I don't think so.
That's the only explanation. Ian is going to say no blocks.
Yeah, no blocks. No
Take 0.
attacks.
Yep, there's the point. I was waiting for that. All right, let's pull up Glacial Chasm for those
Yeah.
aren't familiar. I think Brett is also... I don't think Brett has played against lands before. That's got to be
I
it.
don't think so.
All right, so... And that's what Ian is explaining right now. Well, sometimes you're not clear about what cards do. I like how this card is like 40 cents. Like it's 40 cents. It was an uncommon. This was an uncommon.
Uncommon?
God, can you imagine playing against this card in limited? How annoying would that be?
I don't think I would play it in limited.
I could see sideboarding it.
All right, I could see sideboarding it. I could see sideboarding a lot of
Ooh,
cards.
we found the Bajuka Bog to get rid of a Lingering Souls, which does not seem good enough at
It's
all.
gonna cut off this Tombstalker though.
Heyo. Alright. Loam has been dredged. Go to draw step. We find Mazavith. Mazavith's pretty good, kind of. I don't even think it does anything. Too much damage.
So he
8, 9, 10. No, it's just 10. 11, 12.
yeah.
If that was Mutavault, it'd be lethal.
Yes.
Come on now. What is this Mishra's Factory doing here? Stage, Bog, and Thicket going back to the grip from Loam. Thicket getting cycled, dredging Loam, finding second Maze, Molten Vortex,
That's a card.
and Gamble. Ian has a grip of about 15 cards at the moment. I think, he took 2 from, actually,
Oh yeah, he paid 2 life.
I think Brett can still only do 10. No, this is lethal now.
Yes, he has 12.
This is definitely lethal. Well, no.
Well, no,
He needs a land. He needs a land to be able to both Wasteland, activate Factory, and make a rat. It's 9. Oh, no, because he hasn't played the Maze yet. Even with the Maze. So, Maze takes out 1. Oh, he's just going to concede. I don't think it was lethal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, it's
only
only
10.
lethal.
If he draws a land.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's the Wasteland right on top. Unfortunate for Ian.
Yeah.
All right, so that's going to be the end of this match here. Brett taking it down in 2 games, Pox versus Lands. I think this is a learning experience for both players.
Yes, I think so.
When you haven't played against Lands, it's really weird.
It's very weird.
I mean, no one really. I mean, like, you need to know what's going on to really, be able to fight through a lot of these things. Thankfully, Brett's deck is pretty well set up for the matchup. He has a lot of land destruction. He has annoying
Ley lines.
threats, and he has Ley
Lingering
lines.
Souls.
Lingering Souls can be really good. Blocking Merit Lage is great. All right.
Rat is great.
Oh yeah. All right, I'm gonna run out there and check real quick.
Yeah.
See if we got any matches that are ready to come on camera. Hopefully, we have someone waiting.
So I believe he cycled Tranquil Thicket at the end of his turn, and dredged, and then drew for his draw step. Zen for Nox. Yeah, it looked pretty sweet. I definitely like. Yeah, I don't know. His deck I like a lot of things going on. Lingering Souls seems great in this style of deck. Having access to Caracas was actually just huge in this matchup, and probably some a good amount of other ones. Yeah, playing the Chasm definitely made it. Yeah, like Chasm keeps him alive for 1 or 2 more turns, but I think playing Chasm just made it impossible, close to impossible for him to win. Well, that's very fortunate. The one time I played against Pox, I was playing Dredge versus Pox. And I destroy him game 1. He has Leyline in game 2. And I lose. And then he mulligans to 1 or 2? I don't know. It was like very low, doesn't find a Leyline, and I destroyed him. That's my only experience actually playing against Pox. Yeah, I think making the token was... I don't think... I think there was no real reason for him to make it before Brett's end step. Yeah, there's no real reason to. It's also like the timing. Like, he wouldn't have made the token if he had known about the Caracas, which he didn't. Like, he did it. I think upkeep or combat or whenever before Brett's end step. Ian made the token, and just got destroyed by the Caracas that he didn't know about. Yeah, that's definitely not what lost him the game, but I don't think it. I definitely don't think he should have done it. But the game was still, I think, honestly, looking pretty good for him even after that. Yeah, he went for a kill that could not have been a kill. Like, Brett had, 2 chump blockers. There's no way for him to actually get through for 20, even if there is no Caracas. Like, eventually the 2020 will win the game if there's no Caracas, but you just can't really count on that. Also, having Innocent Blood in your deck makes more sense if you have Lingering Souls. But yeah, I think Ian's plan in this matchup, it's quite unfortunate that he couldn't find a Wasteland early enough, but I don't think he was necessarily prioritizing finding it for most of the game. But if he finds a Wasteland early with Loam, I don't think Brett can win that game. Zoo? So Zoo has the problem of being... It's just too slow, I think. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think you have to play... your deck's just too linear, most Zoo decks, and you just don't have enough... I mean, not that... and don't get me wrong, I love playing Zoo decks in all formats, but it seems underpowered, I guess.
All right, sorry that took a while. So we had a couple matches that were in games 2. This one we luckily got game 3 after Ian won game 2. It's Ian versus Brandon.
Icy Devil. He had Lingering Souls tokens, Flying Spirits.
Is Brandon 3? No, this is round 3.
This is round 3.
So he's 2-0.
Yeah.
think. Oh yeah, we saw
both
him
of these
lose.
players win.
No, we saw
wait.
him lose to Tony.
Oh, yep.
So this is game 3.
Yeah, his tokens were not correctly representing the game state. You would not notice. Yeah, those blue sleeves with the die with the die with 1 pip on it were 1/1 flying spirits.
Yes, Lingering Souls white as well.
White.
Lingering Souls tokens. All right, so we're gonna see a game 3 here between Brandon Salgado on the left and Ian Gorel on the right. Brandon is playing Jeskai Stoneblade. Ian is playing a 4-color Delver deck. It's pretty 4 colors. I will say that much.
It is 4 colors.
Yes, it is a deck. Often, so Christian Calcano's deck, or Eric Rail's build of what it was originally, was a 3-color Delver deck that touched green for Deathrite Shaman. I think he also had Ancient Grudge as a card. Christian Calcano played the same deck, but just cut the green. He just didn't have the life gain on Deathrite. It was just much more aggressive. But, he played Stifle.
Which I think both
Stuff like
options
that.
are reasonable.
Yeah.
The trop is fairly awkward. It's nice to have the trop in your deck if you could guarantee that you never drew it.
Oh, yeah. So otherwise it's just an island.
Yeah.
But Ian's deck is much more 4-color, reminiscent of the decks that top-aided Grand Prix Lille when Dig Through Time was legal. Mm-hmm. A lot of people said, I know a lot of Euros in particular said it was what they thought was the best Delver deck because it played the most digs. I think it played 3. Mm-hmm. It was like even and because you were green, you got Tarmogoyf and Sylvan Library, which was a huge gain against the other Grixis decks, specifically against Grixis Delver and
Sylvan
Grixis
Library,
Control.
sweet.
Man,
Speaking of Sylvan Library, brief aside, did you see Matt Nass had Sylvan Library
in Storm
deck?
I thought that was pretty interesting. So here's a thought. I think it might be worse than Painful Truths. Sylvan Library, because Sylvan Library's gain is literally, I'm going to say literally. It's okay, so it's a top, right? It's basically a top.
Yeah, that also just lets you draw 2 extra cards.
Pay, gain, draw 2 extra cards.
Yeah.
Painful Truths is just draw 3 cards. I kind of want Painful Truths in my sideboard against bug decks. Maybe that's crazy.
So, it might be crazy, but it seems great to me.
Here's the thing. You could just draw 3 cards and then just, pass, and, no matter what they can do, you'll have enough cards to kill them next turn.
Yeah, it's like how, if you just, end step ad nauseum and draw a bunch of cards.
Yeah.
Or, you ad nauseum response to a him or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just draw a bunch of cards, and it's like, oh, sweet. Just does the same thing, but cheaper and, more proactive.
Ooh, Spell Snare, you're Pyromancer.
Spell Snare. Spell Snare is great.
Underplayed card in Legacy.
Underplayed card.
Very good, though. Gets a lot of very important cards. All right. Ponder. We see some more lands if that's what Brandon needs. He's going to keep the Volcanic Island, getting him red mana in the process. We haven't really seen a red card outside of Pyroblast in Brandon's deck, which is, I will say, not surprising. No,
Okay.
Not seeing a bolt. All right, Ian's hand looks pretty great, though. He's just on all gas. He's got a bolt. It actually looks like it's a rug hand right now.
Yeah.
It's just all cantrips, Pyromancer, and Goyf. I think you just jam Goyf here.
Yeah, I think so.
He's got a land. With a land, I think it's pretty safe to play Pyromancer because you can protect it.
Yeah.
Ponder. We see Deathrite, Therapy, and Delver. Therapy seems really good here. I kind of want to just draw the Delver this turn. You drew Therapy. Okay, so my reasoning for wanting to draw Delver is it lets you use that mana best this turn. Although I guess it doesn't protect you against Jace. Jace is not good against your deck, though. I'm going to take that back. I don't even know if I would fear Jace here. My reason... I feel like I'd much rather get a Delver in play right now. I guess he just has enough threats, is his reasoning.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm not sure.
Well... So... We'll see what he... I mean, you think he's in therapy here?
No. I can't imagine therapying... Oh, he is.
Okay.
I don't think I would therapy until I had a Pyromancer in play.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Spell Pierce. Probably just have to let that happen.
Yeah.
And pass back. Brandon draws the Snapcaster. Yep. So now he has access to Snap. Snap Ponder or Snap Pierce or Snap Spell Snare. He's going to pass.
1 mana blue cards.
I think we're going to see Snap Snare in particular here.
Yeah.
Ian draws Goyf for turn. So like the problem here is that now he has to like sack a real creature to get value off of this therapy.
Yeah, I'm...
Oh yeah, Snap Snare. We're playing Modern right now.
Yeah, this is great.
Are there any beta bolts for sale or trade there? Or here? I'm not sure, David. I don't know. They might have. The store might have bought some from the Grand Prix. They're still putting stuff on the website from all they bought. They bought a ton of stuff. I checked there. If it's not there, then I don't really have a good place to point you to. I'm not sure, Jay, if he's new to the deck. I actually haven't seen Ian around the store much.
Yeah, I haven't either.
But
a few times.
Yeah,
I've not been a huge fan of his sequencing.
Yeah.
In a couple of spots.
It's a little off of what we've suggested thus far, I would say. All right, Ian drawing Pyroblast for turn. That's at least a great draw. Pyroblast always good against these Jeskai decks, and now he gets to play it with I think we're gonna see Brandon try and counterspell this, and Ian gets the Pyroblast in response. Yeah, definitely just get this Goyf in play. This Goyf is going to be massive. Creature, sorcery, instant land. So it's a 4/5. And Brandon's just on 2 cards. You have to imagine that they're not very scary right now.
One of them is a Sword of Feast and Famine.
I think Ian's bolts are FBB, David. Oh yeah, Feast and Famine. Oh man, this is a pretty big game.
Attacks with the sword.
Oh yeah, get in their sword.
That's one of the most tilting things, I think.
It drives you crazy, I'd
Or
imagine.
like auras too.
Oh yeah,
Ah,
do it every time.
that's why like Theros Limited was terrible for me.
Oh yeah, you just
It was
kept
like
correcting
Wingsteed
people.
Rider. You're just like, no.
Stop. You know what it doesn't have protection from though? Red.
That's correct.
Ian could actually not bolt this turn. I don't think it's crazy to just play Pyromancer here and probe. And ponder.
Yeah, I don't either.
I actually think
you just like. Would you just like block with the token?
Yeah. Although I guess just playing into his mana is kind of loose. Like, do you want to play around Hardcast Force of Will? What do you want to play around? Ponder first. All right, we find Wasteland. Brainstorm. That seems great. Wasteland's great.
Wasteland is great.
You get to take out his red source. Although again, we haven't. I've like not seen red cards. I don't know about any red cards in this deck. He can't probe and cast. He can't cast Bolt and Young Pyromancer CPT. He only has Volk as his land. All right, so Wasteland going after the volcanic island of Brandon's, and an attack for 4.
Yeah, and it's weird because the way Ian has constructed his deck, he has to like aggressively fetch for this tropical island.
Yes.
And it's making his mana really weird.
Yep. Bolt on the Snapcaster Mage. Does it resolve? Brandon has a response here? Oh, it's another Snapcaster and a Pierce. So yeah, Ian getting punished really heavily for casting that Ponder first. That is an absolute beating. Ugh. And now Brandon's going to get another hit in with the Snapcaster Mage.
Yeah, that is brutal. And now, like, his 2 cards in hand are Probe Pyromancer.
I don't necessarily think that Ian's sequencing. I think Ian's sequencing is very defensible, but he has gotten basically maximally punished for how it's worked out.
Pretty much every time.
This is a play. I see this so often. I always see this no cards in hand brainstorm, and I hate it. God, I really hate it. I'm going to rail about it for a second, but I don't.
I don't
You're,
like
you're drawing 1 card.
Yeah.
If you wait like 1 turn, you get quite a bit more value by waiting on that. But in any case, Brandon going to jam in for 6 here. Effectively a 2-turn clock, but you know, Ian will certainly have a blocker available for this for the naked Pyromancer next turn. Sorry, naked Delver next turn. Snapcaster. It's a Snapcaster, guys. I'll say it right eventually. All right. Young Pyromancer coming down. Okay, so Ian is going to have one card in hand to go with this Brainstorm. This is a scenario where he can get away with playing it. Ooh, yes. Get in there. I like this attack.
I like it too.
You're guaranteed a blocker no matter what, either the Pyromancer or the token, so you might as well just do it. Oh man, is Brandon just going to go hard cast Batterskull? I feel like that's what's coming. Fetching down to 11. Oh, Blood Moon is in his deck? God, this deck is hateful.
Jeez.
That might be one of the only... I think that's the only red card.
Close to the only red card.
I think that and Pyroblast.
Yeah, there's some blast and that's it.
He didn't show you any bolts, right?
No.
We were
I don't-
thinking that his
I
deck
don't
seemed
hate
like
this.
the absolute worst matchup for your deck.
It's definitely not
Yes.
good. It's also really bad when you mull the 5.
But also just, I think True Name in particular.
Yeah.
At least you have answers to... It makes sense why you're playing all the Pride Mages to answer those equipments, though.
Yeah, and you can combo through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, with Wolf Run.
Well, Wolf Run, I mean, or just giving
so
your
you're
guy
set.
pro blue.
Yep. All right. Let's see. Brandon attacking with his Sorted guy. Pyromancer. Or see, a Brainstorm by Ian here. He did find Decay. Decay is going to be okay here, but not great. Like, what do you even... Like, he could decay the sword. He can decay a germ. But it's not solving sort of his larger problem here. I think he's just going to chump block this turn with the token. Doesn't really matter what he keeps this in his hand because he's drawing. The only thing that matters is what he puts second from the bottom.
Yeah.
All right, so he chumps, draws for turn, draws Brainstorm. I think we're very close to the scenario where this Pyromancer takes over the game.
It is, yes. So what do we even...
He could Brainstorm here right now when you have all these cards, when you already have one card in your hand, although you're pretty much guaranteed, you're definitely guaranteed to keep the Abrupt Decay.
Yeah.
I think you have
he's
to
only
hold.
Seeing what? Was he seeing 2 cards deeper?
Yeah.
So he knows just the top card?
Yes.
Okay.
I like not casting Decay now because I feel like he's going to... Yeah, this is what I thought was going to happen. So now you get to decay the sword, which makes Goifa 5/6, and trade with this, or you could just chump block. All right. So is he responding? I think you can't. Okay, so this is where we see this mana situation come up again, where he wants to. Oh yeah, this is pretty greedy here. We found Painful Truths, Force of Will, and a land. But now, because of how he tapped, he can't cast Abrupt Decay. He can still chump block, but now he's the hopes of racing are completely gone because there's going to be all this lifelink on
Yes.
Brandon's side.
Yeah, I don't... What?
Painful Truths and Delver.
It's basically Dig Through Time.
Yeah, but Dig Through Time costs 2.
Correct. All right, so the equip resolves. Brandon's going to attack. Ian's only blockers have to be red here. Can only be well, obviously they can be other colors, but red are the only ones that Ian can do. So he's going to block. Brandon's going to gain 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 6. Sorry, plus 4, 8 life. Going to 19 in the process. And now Ian's in a very rough spot where he needs to beat both this Batterskull and the Sword of Feast and Famine.
Go to 3.
He hasn't seen a bolt out of Brandon's deck yet, so I don't hate this Painful Truths here. You just need more cards in this spot. Unfortunately, he has a Forcible on top of his deck, which is basically blank. Draws Wasteland, and I think he just drew 3 lands
Yeah.
after drawing the Forcible for turn. Not sure what Ian wants to do here. He's just going to Wasteland the Volk.
Sure. Just hope for no bolts.
Yeah, I mean, I have not seen a bolt. I don't believe Brandon actually has bolts in his deck.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think his red cards are just limited to powerful sideboard cards. Doesn't matter. Has a third Volk. All right. We'll see if Ian can stay alive here. I think Ian's just hoping to get a draw. That might be what he's trying to do here. Let's see if Brennan has drawn anything relevant this turn. 3 mana. Oh boy, Council's Judgment. I will vote for Young Pyromancer. And he has Force and no blue card.
Yeah.
Attack. Gain 8 up to 26. Ian's got to draw another Pyromancer here, or Delver. He draws Decay. All right, so he's not just dead.
We drew Delver.
Oh, sorry, he drew Delver. Sorry,
Yeah.
he had the Decay. Plays Delver. Gets to pass the turn. I think Ian's going to sneak out of here at the draw, actually. Brandon draws for a turn, so we get an attack. Ian's going to block. Brandon gains 8 off of the attack.
If you're Ian, do you just decay the sword and block with the Goyfe?
It's kind of tempting.
Because then, well, then he...
Hardcast Force. Alright. And now this Decay exactly gets Ian to the draw.
Mhm.
Unless what? Like, what needs to happen? Because,
Um,
swords won't do it, right?
No.
Will it? Swords?
I can't. He's getting 5.
he's
or
gaining...
6.
4.
So he can...
No,
gain-
that's it.
Oh, it goes to 7.
No, he still takes
okay.
lethal.
Oh, 7 to 8. Yeah.
So he decays in
Or-
response.
Yeah, if he decays in response, he goes up to 5, gains 5, goes to 8, and then,
And then dies.
takes 6.
Oh
plus
no,
2.
it doesn't take 6.
It takes exact.
6 plus 2.
Yes.
So
What's
the
the other
other
Snapcaster? Yeah, it's exactly lethal.
Yeah.
Brandon just getting out of there on the last possible turn. Yeah, that was a just barely. So yeah, Brandon taking that one down on turn 4 of turns. His final option.
That would have been turn 5, right?
That was turn 4.
That was turn 4.
Oh, okay. I thought Ian's was.
Ian was going to get 5. But yeah, very close match there. I think Ian was just sort of throwing away a little bit of resources at the end, just trying to stay alive. But Brandon was able to fight through. Jessica Snowblades look pretty good tonight. Honestly,
Yeah, it did.
I've liked it. Like, all the cards look really good. I kind of think it, when the deck is doing well, it kind of always looks good to me. Whereas often it can just be sort of like an awkward collection of cards. It's basically a blue-white deck. I can't imagine playing that deck versus Miracles, for instance.
I mean, a bunch of Red Blasts is pretty good against Miracles.
Yeah, but they
Yeah, but
also get a
Miracles
bunch
can
of Red
also-
Blasts.
You can't Red Blast your Red Blast. And all you
True.
have to do is stop their Jason.
They flusterstorm your Red Blasts.
But he's running a bunch of basics. Like, he's got a lot of lands. Like,
Yeah. Maybe it's fine. I would just worry about getting locked out by countertop.
I mean, is it? I guess if you're basically just blue white splash red for a few things, is that better than just playing like black?
I don't know.
plays black.
It might not be like it's.
Playing like Thoughtseize?
It's just like you have to decide what's better, Blast or Thoughtseize in a given time, right? All right. Euroborian. We start Legacy at 7:30. So yeah, show up, play some Legacy. It'll be a good time. I don't know if I will be here next week. That's a good question. I know, is next week in Pittsburgh already?
Yes.
Holy crap! I'm going to that. I got sent a
Playing
sweet.
Amulet?
Pretty sure.
Amulet's last
We should
hurrah.
play Amulet.
I got sent a pretty sweet Grixis brew from my friend. It's basically Grixis control, splashing some white cards.
Like
It-
Souls.
Nope.
No.
No, he said it was bad. He said Lingering Soul is really bad for him. I will say Lingering Soul seems completely unnecessary because you can play Pia and Kieran Nalar.
Yeah.
It's just a non-color Lingering
Better.
Soul.
You
The
can
card-
pull against commanded back.
Yeah. It blocks Etch Champion. Blocks Etch Champion.
Blocks and kills Edge Champion.
But yeah, the Grixis deck splashed white for Rest for the Weary and Stony Silence. Stony Silence seems like a huge gain, especially because I think Affinity is a really, really close matchup that you can favor. You can make yourself favored, but you have to play a lot of sideboard cards. And Stony Silence is applicable in other matchups, in particular Tron. And I think Tron's a bad matchup. Like, just straight bad. Even with his sideboard had 3 Molten Rains in it, and I think Tron's still a bad matchup. Because you need to draw 2, and then you need to flash one of those back. with either Snapcaster or Jace?
Who we got next?
Great question.
2 undefeated tonight.
Your turn.
I do. Is Sydney and Salgado at 7 points because we beat the Raw earlier.
Is it Death and Taxes versus Blair?
Salgado's just guys don't play.
If they're gonna play, well, I'll watch them.
That's
I'm
yeah,
okay with
I
that.
like that matchup.
I haven't seen Death and Taxes tonight. But yeah.
Sydney's the one playing it, all foiled.
Mhm.
Let's see if they...
Simon, I'm not gonna play Warriors Lesson.
Salgado in the bathroom?
I don't know. Simon, I will not play Warriors Lesson or Terminus. You can't make me do these things. I am tempted to play this Grixis deck just because I have more experience playing Grixis, but Amulet's been really good. Not versus One Drop Zoo, in my experience. But this is in
Matchup's
Chicago.
pretty close.
We're in Chicago, Illinois. We are in the beautiful city of Chicago. The beautiful, actually windy as hell today city.
Yes.
I had a fun thing where I was biking home yesterday, and it was like 20-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and I was like, this is not that bad. And then I had 20-mile-per-hour wind leaves launched at my face. That wasn't fun. I did not like that. It was not enjoyable at all.
Or you get the old get used to biking in 20-mile-an-hour winds, and then you like go past a building or something. There's no more wind, and you're just
like things are right. Yeah, it was pretty strange. It was fun though. I didn't die. Gut Shot is a card you might be able to convince me and play in Modern because there's simply no better feeling than gut shotting an unsuspecting Affinity opponent.
or anyone, honestly.
Yeah, against anyone where it's good, but most of the time it's just like that. Kill your Birds of Paradise or whatever.
Yeah.
The current 3L players, I believe it's just Sydney, and he's going to be playing against Brandon Salgado, who is I think XO1. I think that's what the match we have set up right now. I should check if they're sitting down. Nope, not sitting down. But yeah, those we have. Main deck Hornet Queen. That can't be good. I think the most important question I have is if Dragonlord Dramoka is actually good in Amulet, because my inclination is that it is literal garbage.
I also think it is garbage. Like if, for example,
Yes.
yesterday, if Nick had had a Thragtusk instead of a Dragonlord Dramoka, he probably wins that game.
Did you play? Oh, did he turn to the Dragonlord against you, right?
I think so.
Yeah, and if it was Thragtusk, you just like have to beat 2 creatures.
Yeah.
But he played a Dragonlord and you untapped and pathed it and won.
I
I don't think the only creatures I don't think you want to play any creatures that are bad against Path to Exile naturally. But I'm a big fan of Hornet Queen. I think Hornet Queen is amazing.
Hornet Queen is very good.
I think Hornet Queen, I would actually say in a lot of matchups, is close to unbeatable.
Yes. Hornet Queen. The cards I like are Hornet Queen,
Thragtusk.
Thragtusk, Sigarda, which like, yeah.
Sigarda is the one I am least excited about. It is
Coil Engine.
no, I think Wormcoil is a bad Thragtusk.
Okay.
You can't pack for it.
So it just gets pathed.
Yes. It's better against some matchups, but I think even then it's still just worse than
Yeah.
Thragtusk. Modern Death and Taxes. That's a deck I've never been a huge fan of, honestly. I like versions of it. I think it's kind of worse than... I think Collected Company has sort of made that deck a lot worse. But not sure yet. Yeah, Sucks Garda, Stinks Garda, all these words, pretty accurate. More like Cigar Don't.
Nice.
I'll stop now. Let's bring up Stinks Garda real quick. Because we saw this card come down twice today?
Twice.
Already? So
Wait,
yeah.
It was twice, right?
Yeah, we've seen Sigarda cast twice today. Splash
Well-
for Coco in Modern D&T.
Never cast.
No, we've not seen a cat. Well, are you sure?
I think so.
Okay.
But I could be wrong. I don't know.
Brandon being a nice guy and sitting on the same side of the table, so I don't have to reset his name.
And both of them being kind enough to not destroy the camera.
Oh my god, where would I be without these two? Very destroyed, honestly. All right, so we had Brandon's record wrong. He was 101 last
He'd
round.
clearly just be out there.
Yes. That is absolutely where I'd be. Sydney on the right playing Death and Taxes. I believe he beat Zinni last round.
Okay.
Or as some people like to call it, Mono White Control. Mono White Control is a much more descriptive name, but
Yes.
as it always, as I think we always
as
think,
opposed
you know,
to not descriptive at all.
not even a little bit. Like, what does this even say?
Yeah.
It's okay though. We'll get to see Sydney do some awesome things against Jeskai Stoneblade. I have to imagine this is a matchup that favors the Jeskai deck. The combination of many Snapcasters and many Swords of Plowshares is really good. Death and Taxes is usually favored in Stoneforge Mirrors, but all the redundancy in the Jeskai deck I think can be a lot to deal with. Thalia is extremely good here, making all Brandon's counterspells way worse. Aether Vial is probably his best card by a wide margin. So we'll see. We'll see if he's able to keep up in that regard. I'm going to move this. This has been driving me crazy for a little bit. Great. Alright, reset the timer real quick. Great. Great. You guys think it would be good to switch some Dark Writ for Sign in Blood in my mono black? I have 3 Arena because Man, Dark Writ, I can't imagine cutting Dark Writ from a deck where Dark Writ is good.
Yeah, no.
Dark Writ's so good. Blue-white Death and Taxes. Man, Meddling Mage is a very underplayed card in Modern.
Yes.
It's quite good. I also love Geist of St. Traff, but I just always have had an affinity for that card. And Sydney promptly mulling to 5 here, making things pretty easy. Brandon just sitting there, taking a look at his hand. It looks good. I think he has... one thing he does have access to is a lot of basic lands, which is going to help him a lot in this matchup. He has, I think his hand has a cantrip, a snapcaster, a counterspell. Yeah, it's all right.
We haven't seen too many basic lands from him.
Dark
I
Conflict.
imagine he's got to have. We've seen 1 planes.
Wow, this
I think from him.
$50. It's pretty low.
It's $50.
All
Wish
right.
I had money.
Sorry, we didn't realize it. You guys surprised us in the chat by saying that Dark Confidant was as cheap as it is right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, not want to say like 40 is crazy cheap, but in any case, Brandon in turn 1 fetching a volcanic island. I don't know if he's aware of the matchup. If so, I think. Oh, I guess he has to fetch a blue land here, but you want to fetch basics as aggressively as possible. Ooh, he found Jit.
It's possible he doesn't know the matchup.
It's very much so.
I mean, Sydney doesn't play. He's played a couple times here.
Yes,
lately,
he's
right?
been playing more. It's if he's in town, more or less.
Yeah.
He found Jitte, another land. This all seems good. Oh, and a Swords of Plowshares. Yeah, so he's going to keep off the Ponder. Let's see if Sydney has a Wasteland or a Vial. Does he have Mom? He has Mom.
Okay.
That's going to get swords immediately. Unless Brandon wants to hold up Counterspell, but I have to think you want the swords to be good at, and this is as good as it's going to get. Otherwise, his mom is just going to blank it for the rest of the game.
I think so.
It looks like Sydney, unfortunately, has a swords in his hand. Ooh, is he guessing Stoneforge?
Stoneforge. That's.
Is there a Stoneforge? You gotta show it. I guess getting Jitte is going to be just as good here.
Yeah, he's gonna given that he has the swords, he's gonna put that Mother of Roots in an awkward spot eventually.
I'm still not a huge fan of this. I think just letting Sydney untap with a mom is
It's
not
a little
great.
greedy.
Yeah, I think it's very greedy. Especially because Sydney's just going to be able to swords this Mother of Runes. Sorry, this Snapcaster. Stoneforge Mystic. Ooh, yeah. The Flagstones of Trocaire.
Flagstones.
Sydney thinking about the swords? Is he going to do it? He is going to swords. Does Brandon have force he's considering? No, he's just going to let it happen. Going to 19.
He does have force, though, right?
I think he just has Counterspell.
Okay.
Brandon drawing. There's Spell Pierce. Play a land. And, oh, he does have force.
Okay.
He could have forced. I do like not forcing, though.
Yes.
You don't really care about this card in the grand scheme of things.
Would you have forced the Mother of Runes on turn 1?
Nope.
Okay.
I would have swords it, though. I definitely would have swords on turn 2.
I definitely would have swords it, too.
Otherwise, the swords just has such diminishing returns. You're asking, you're saying that, oh, I'm going to kill this with my Jitte, but that's just not a guarantee. Mm-hmm. I do appreciate Brandon saying, well, I've already fetched one dual land.
Yep,
I'm just going to
just get
fetch
them
all
all.
dual lands. Yeah. So I think this will work out fine for him as far as mana is concerned. And then we're going to see an end step swords. Sydney will give it pro white. Brandon says sure, untaps. I don't know if Brandon was aware of that interaction or not. Gets ported on his upkeep out of red. Does he have Snapcaster?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's a little awkward then.
Yeah. It was a little bit of an awkward play.
Let's see. He's thinking right now. He does have it. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Snap swords. It doesn't
Yeah,
really.
it doesn't.
Snap ponder?
What?
All right, this is very greedy. Oh my god, he's Supreme Verdict in his deck. That card's really good. I did not know that was in his deck at all.
Yeah, I didn't either. I mean, he's getting paid off for this. Like, Sydney has, what, 3 lands in hand?
Vicious Links. The reason that Flagstones is good, it's not really because of Legend Rule. The main reason, I think, is because of Cataclysm. Lets you get an extra... Like, when you Cataclysm, you keep a non-Flagstones land, and then you get to sacrifice and get an extra land ahead of your opponent. That's most of the reason. It's a pretty marginal thing. It's basically a Plains.
That gets Blood Mooned.
Yep. Which is great. I love
Yeah.
when the mono white deck gets Blood Moon.
Yep.
Sydney going to port Brandon's red source in his upkeep. He does have... that Verdict is going to be really good. He swords Mom end of turn. I think Brandon... I just don't think Brandon respects the Mom. I
don't think he
I think
does.
that's what it comes down to, is he just doesn't care.
Yeah.
Which is more than more than I can say personally.
Yeah.
I tend to be afraid of Mom when I have, like, in any deck with targeted removal.
Yeah.
Uh,
I guess, like, I don't... It doesn't make sense to swords... Like, I don't get the swords end step.
oh yeah, the swords
Like,
end
if
step
you're
I'm not a
just
huge
gonna-
fan of.
If you're just going to tap and ponder.
All right, here's a Vendilion click for Brandon. Let's see if he's who he's targeting. He's going to target Sydney. Sydney has Flicker Wisp, land. You could ship the Flicker Wisp, but it doesn't even do anything. Might as well. It is his only good spell.
Yeah.
Only spell. How many
Didn't get a
worse
good
cards?
look.
Wasteland.
Wasteland.
Wait, did Sydney draw for turn? Or was that... Oh, it was in his draw step.
Okay.
It was in his draw step. Alright, so Wasteland... That was not a main phase click. That was a draw step click. So Wasteland taking out the Volcanic Island. Upkeep port your Tundra. Equip. And bash. And now 1 GTA hit is all it takes.
Yeah. The click was a pretty good.
Yeah, he didn't even put
Yeah.
counters, just like they're dead. Hey, he played the click in the draw step, guys. Calm down.
Yeah.
It appeared that he played it in his main phase, but that was not the case. Sydney has his own Stoneforge. I wonder what does he even get here? I don't think he can come back from this Jitte without a Manriki Gusari.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's pretty much got to be that.
And even then, it just dies. It just dies to the counters from the next attack.
Yeah.
I would actually... Oh, he's just going to force it.
I think it's fine.
I think forcing it and not forcing it is fine.
Yeah.
But forcing it is a safer play because you know that his hand is like land
Yeah.
something. Honestly, this Jitte is just going to take down the game. Is that a Crocus in hand? Yes. There's a Crocus in play now. Ooh, I think you... Brandon, small misplay here.
Yeah.
Definitely want to move that over. And get the counters on the Jitte while you can. Alright, Brandon's going to fetch here. Going to 16.
Man, no fear.
I respect it.
Yeah.
I'm wondering... I wonder if there's any red spells in his main deck.
It's very possible there isn't. He could be playing some Pyroblasts.
Could put like a main deck Pyroblast or a main deck Explosives. That's effectively
reasonable.
the third color. Alright, we've got a counter spell. Oh, he needed to fetch another blue. I think I would have fetched Island, though. Sydney drawing. Oh, another draw step Vendilion click. It's Mother of Runes and Horizon Canopy. I think you just say keep
Yeah,
Mother
you
of
just let it
Runes.
Keep it.
You could. No, I'd say
Yeah,
keep
just
it.
let it keep it. Thank you.
Whatever. Yep. Oh no, he did ship it.
Shipped it. What did he draw?
Come on, Brandon. You got to decide if you care about the card or if you don't.
Yeah.
Because like you could draw Thalia here, and that's really annoying. Revoker. That's a great draw.
Great.
Oh no, that's also
getting forced.
Yep.
He
Force
has to
pitching.
Force it.
You gotta force it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Force is good. I like the force. Just leaving counterspell in his hand. Sydney plays Horizon Canopy and passes. Upkeep, port your Volk. We're going to see the...
There's Ponder.
Probably just Ponder here. I think equipping a Jitte is just better than holding up counterspell.
I think so.
The only thing you're afraid of is Revoker then? Revoker's the only card that matters?
Yeah.
Alright, I wonder if Sydney's going to draw a card. No, he's probably... I think he's just going to take it. Take 5. Going to 10. He can't cycle the Canopy into Swords. He doesn't have enough mana.
He could have not ported.
Yeah, I think porting is actually better than cycling the Canopy into Swords, but... That's a close play. I really don't know.
Are you supposed to just bounce the click? Like,
I would say
is it
no. I'd rather draw a card. I think drawing a card is better than doing this because you can just untap and do this at any time.
Okay.
Just costs 1 mana. Plus, you might just want a Swords. Like, he needs to find a Swords to Plowshares for this Snapcaster Mage. Yeah, it's very possible, Bappins, that he shouldn't have ported and just tried to draw a Swords to Plowshares to deal with the Snapcaster Mage. Alright, Sydney, unfortunately, did just draw a land and Sword of Fire and Ice. So he just played the sword and ported Brandon on his upkeep. Brandon now with full control of the game. He's got Counterspell. I think he actually did just draw Bold. Click gets bounced. Sydney going to take 2 here, down to 8. Unless he's going to... I think Brandon's deciding if he wants to just pump.
I don't hate pumping.
Yeah, I think he did pump.
Yep.
Nice. I mean, it's lethal next turn.
Yeah.
Oh, it is Bolt. He doesn't Bolt. We found
It is
it.
a bolt. I mean, yeah, I feel like
He probably has.
if you have 3 volcanic islands in your deck.
He probably has like 2 bolts in his
yeah,
deck.
which is reasonable.
Probably like many swords, 2 bolts or
Yeah.
something like that. Vryn Mingware, that is. Oh no, he put it on the bottom.
All right, what do we got?
I think he just drew another Caracas and died. That's it.
All right.
Brandon taking down game 1. I think Brandon, if he could go back, would resequence how he dealt with those Mother of Runes. But besides that, I think he played fine. Like there was one instance where I think he should have moved the swords. Sorry, moved the
Yeah.
Jitte. But beyond that,
Yeah, the
just prioritize getting counters on his Jitte. Able to take down all the little tiny creatures in Sydney's deck. Everything else seemed reasonable.
yeah. Except for the swords on the other cards.
I don't know why he would push the Wingmare. I don't think you need to. I mean, the Wingmare just doesn't do anything there.
Yeah.
Um,
I also wouldn't have pushed the Mother of Runes.
No.
Yeah, like it's just
No,
doesn't
it,
matter.
well, the Mother of Runes, it makes more sense to push the Mother of Runes, I think, but also doesn't matter. That one I think matters the least.
It doesn't matter because he has to block. If you let him have Mother Runes and he just plays it, like he has to block Snapcaster or he just loses the Mother Runes anyways.
But then you lose your Snapcaster. You don't want to lose your Snapcaster. That's the problem.
Okay, that's fair.
Like I think pushing, like here's the thing:
That-
you
that-
either
that
let
is
it,
good.
you either let him
Yes,
keep
yes.
Mother of Runes and guarantee to force it, or you push it and hope he doesn't draw a creature.
Okay.
I actually think that's pretty defensible.
Okay.
The Brynwing Mare, you definitely keep in play. You let him keep it because he
Yeah,
plays
at
it.
that point it doesn't
And
matter.
because well, especially
just
you,
have Jitte.
yeah, you have lethal immediately because you go take a counter off of off the Jitte, kill it, and you already have 4 with the Snapcaster alone. So that one I disagree with, but the more I think about it, the more I think it actually makes sense to bottom the Mother of Runes in that spot. Like fully aware that like if you keep it, you're going to have to force of will it. You might as well just hope they draw something else.
Yeah.
Because you have to force of will any creature that trades with Snapcaster in that spot.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that.
Yes.
But that makes a lot of sense.
Yes. What if he pushed it into a 3 toughness creature and then he equips the sword? No, I agree. I agree with you, Babbins, in that spot. I think you definitely do not bottom the Wingmare.
Yes.
I think we're in full agreement there. I'm talking about the Mother of Friends. But yeah, worked out in the end. I think Brandon got a little lucky that Cindy didn't draw a Sarah Avenger there, but I think that was his only draw.
If they're even in his deck.
That's true. You could just not play that
Are
card.
people cutting Sarah Avengers for Wingmares?
Sometimes.
Or like some numbers? I don't know.
Depends.
I don't know
What
the
I've seen
like-
most, I think the version that Michael Durzo had the highest finish, and he just didn't have any of the goofy 3-drops in his deck. Like, didn't have, like, Mangara, didn't have Brimaz, and he just played... I don't even know if he had Mirror Crusader
Yeah, I
in
was
his
gonna
deck.
say.
I think he just played 4 Wingmare.
Seems fine.
I mean, it just makes you...
And I just like I trust his Death and Taxes knowledge.
He plays that deck. He plays that deck
Plays a lot of that
exclusively.
deck.
Always finishes well with
Yes.
it. So I also trust his judgment with that. Yeah, I think I don't know if playing Zero Mirror. I don't remember if there were Zero Mirror Crusader. That's like the one other 3-drop I would look to play.
Yeah. Everything else is kind of eh.
Yeah, like you just like don't need like Mangara's cute, but it's insanely slow.
Yeah.
It's really good when it gets going, but I think it's unnecessary, and I think oh well, Wingmare's really good against Miracles though.
Yeah.
Wingmare's like one of your best cards against Miracles. Like there's no better follow up to a Thalia than a Wingmare. That's I think the reason the card's in the deck is because like the
Yes.
fact that you get to go Thalia into Wingmare just like devastates opponents. All right, both players shuffled up, looking at their openers. Let's note that Sydney did mold a 5 that game.
Yes.
You mold a 5 on the play? No, on the draw. Interested to see how Brandon's sideboard here. He does have double basic island in his hand, which seems amazing.
Yeah. Seems fantastic.
No red mana though. I believe he does have a bolt. Looks like Sydney is.
Ponder counterspell.
Yeah. Counterspell is.
I don't really like it.
I really don't like it on the draw.
Yes.
But yeah, Brimaz is okay. Yeah, I would definitely want Crusader specifically for Shardless.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to main deck Rest in Peace though. I think that's a little too much. I think you need things that attack and work well with equipment.
Yeah.
Brandon playing an Island on turn 1 and a Ponder. Let's see what he finds here. Tundra, Blood Moon, and Caracas. I don't think he has a red land.
I don't think so either.
Interesting that he's going for the Blood Moon. I mean, it makes sense. Port is super good against his deck.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something you see sneak and show players do, but I actually am not a fan of it working in Brandon's deck. I'm very interested to see how it works out.
It's also much more suspect on the draw as well.
I agree. Yeah, here's turn to Thalia, and
Yeah.
this is always where things go south for the blue decks. But we do have the Caracas.
Yes.
Did you just fire it off? No, he's just gonna play a land. He's got Brainstorm. He's got Jitte. He can't cast Jitte. He can run out an Ambush Viper. I think you just play Caracas
I
there.
think so, because then you can like it gives. I mean, you can brainstorm. Like if he's gonna.
Nope.
Oh, yeah.
Nope. Yep, and yes, and he's just like, you can't cast that.
Yeah.
I think Brimaz is pretty poor. I agree. I'm not a fan of Brimaz and Death and Taxes. Alright, so Brandon going to go for the old 2-mana Brainstorm, which, I don't know if you've cast it, feels a lot worse than the 1-mana Brainstorm.
Yes.
Still good.
But
Not as good.
so he could have made this same play, but just put the Thalia back in his hand.
I agree.
Which it makes more. Not playing Caracas makes more sense, given that he thought he was going to play the
Oh,
Jitte,
I think
but,
Sydney has a Wingmare, too.
That's brutal.
And a Wasteland? Oh, no, even better. He has Wasteland you, attack for 2, and then port you. Ugh. Jesus.
Yeah, this is.
This is Death and Taxes. This is what the deck does.
This is-
And this is where Sydney's getting, Brandon's getting punished for not just bouncing the Thalia. But the Wingmare's going to do a pretty great impression. Does he have his own Caracas? Yep, he does.
The Wingmare is. We know Brandon kept 2 lands on top, after the Blood Moon, right?
Yes.
So, like...
I think that's the Caracas. Yeah. Still holding the Caracas. Oh, I think Bremass has a lot of value in Modern. I just think it's pretty poor in Legacy. Oh yeah.
Like, Modern is Lightning Bolt format. Legacy, not as much.
Legacy, there's just a lot of punishing things.
Yeah.
Oh, the 3-mana Brainstorm. It's a lot of mana.
That is a lot.
And unfortunately, Brandon's found a lot of reactive cards here.
And even like this turn, he could still make the same play of Caracas, bounce your Thalia, play my 2-mana Brainstorm.
I don't think he's aware of it.
It's very possible.
This is Brandon's first time playing this deck.
Okay.
I believe. So I think he's in a rough spot. All right, let's see what Sydney's got. If Sydney has like another port here, this has got to be lights out. He does have the old second Caracas in his hand, which is a delight. Attack for 4. Putting Brandon down to 12. And a Mother of Runes. That's just completely reasonable. Yeah, plays Caracas. And another Mother of Runes. Jeez. Yeah, this is gross.
Yeah.
Port your white mana. You can draw a Jace, and there's a Caracas. Let's see if he just bounces the Thalia or not. I think Brandon's taking a look at his sideboard. Yeah, Jay. Brandon is not very experienced in this deck. He's been playing Burn in Modern, and done very well with it for a time. But yeah, I believe this is his first time playing the Stoneblade deck. It's certainly the first time I've seen him playing it.
Yes. I think it's the first time I've seen him play as well.
Oh boy, the 3. Oh yeah, I don't think he's aware of this interaction. Yeah, he swords the Thalia. That should definitely be going after the Wingmare.
He was on that last week too.
Oh, last week too. Okay, so second time playing the deck.
Not a lot of times.
No. And Sydney drawing a land this turn. Not a lot going on Sydney's side. A pretty slow clock. I think he really wants to find like a sword or something. Oh, he has Stoneforge. That's great.
Yeah, that's huge here.
That's going to go right for a Sword of Fire and Ice, I'd imagine. Definitely going to resolve since a Wingmare's in play. You think he gets Sword, right?
I think so.
Sword's the best clock.
Yeah, Sword is the best clock. I mean, Batterskull's not good, I don't think.
I think Batterskull's a card you might even... No, I think Jitte is the card you sideboard out.
Yeah, Jitte doesn't seem very good.
Mom did not have haste. Sorry, that's a bad answer to that question, TX. Mom was cast that turn. Both moms were cast that turn.
It's a very roundabout way.
Yeah, sorry, I said that in a really stupid way. Yes, CBT, that's what he should have done. Brandon drawing Bolt for turn, not castable, unfortunately. He's been off red mana this whole game, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. So you have the third Brainstorm. Yep. Brainstorm number 3. They've all been non-shuffle Brainstorms, and yeah, he's just going to scoop them up. There's just too much going on Sydney's side of the board. Yeah. I don't think there's going to be a time where he's going to be able to cast like a Supreme Verdict, and I think he was just going to die immediately to the sword hit.
Yeah,
or effectively die.
He spent every one of his turns just casting Brainstorm.
Not a great spot to be in. You need to answer the board. I think Brandon's going to cut a lot of these reactive cards in the deck. Like what you want to set your Jeskai deck up. Those are foil versus Legacy. Yes, Sydney does not mess around.
No,
that was foil. Darksteel, sort of Fire and Ice. You know, I'm sure his Aether Vials are Darksteel foil. But in any case, the way I think you want your Jeskai Stoneblade deck to look post board is just all removal.
Yes,
like removal, sweepers,
just kill every creature,
and Stoneforge Mystics. Nothing else.
And Snapcasters for more removal.
Exactly. Yeah, Snapcasters is another removal spell. I think like all the counter spells are fine. I think you can leave in some Force of Wills. That's basically it.
Yes.
I don't like counterspell. Spell Snare is good on the play.
Yes.
And even then, it's fine. But Force of Will at least counters some scary cards, in particular Cataclysm, which is a truly gut-wrenchingly terrifying Magic card if you're playing a blue mid-range deck. Certainly the best card.
It is a beating.
Certainly the best card against Miracles. when you're playing Death and Taxes. I don't believe you that Supreme Verdict is horrible against Death and Taxes. I think Supreme Verdict is a very reasonable card against Death and Taxes. It is expensive. It is definitely expensive, but having access to one is invaluable. Because of sometimes if you let a mom get active, you just need a way to answer 2 creatures, without 2-for-1ing yourself.
I agree.
Obviously, like there are some issues with Port and Wasteland that make it really hard to cast, but I think calling it bad is not necessarily accurate. Yeah, David. Sydney just foils everything out. He has a pretty unbelievable collection.
Yes.
He also, I think, has a foil Shardless deck.
I think so. And a
Foil Splinter Twin
foil
deck.
Splinter Twin. What else? Foil anything.
Burn.
Yeah.
But I think all of his...
Every deck I've seen him play is just all foil.
Yeah, I've never seen him play non-foil cards, I think. But I respect that.
Except for, like, those ports.
Sure, yeah. His
But,
ports
like,
are not
everything
foil.
possible.
Jameson's ports aren't foil either, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only person I've seen with foil ports is, I think his name is Brad Campbell, Brad Davis. His name is Brad.
I don't know if I've ever seen.
He's an Indianapolis guy.
Okay.
He only plays goblins.
Nice.
He top aided the 5K in Indianapolis playing goblins. And in Legacy. He has foil 7th edition goblin matrons.
Okay.
His
How
entire
much
deck.
are those?
2 something. His entire deck is foil. With the exception of maybe some duels that are in there. But yeah, his deck is ridiculous. It must be nice. I assume is.
I'm sure it is.
Is?
There's no way it's not.
Yeah. I respect it, you know.
Yeah.
Alright, both players keeping their 7 here. On to game 3. Brandon going to fetch on turn 1. Going to go fetch up a Tundra. I mean, Brandon's done this sort of a lot in these games, but I think he needs to play a little bit more aggressively around Wasteland.
Yeah, he just doesn't care.
Ooh, I really do not like this brainstorm.
Yeah, I don't either.
This is. I don't mean to comment on whether or not plays like. This is not what you want to be doing with your brainstorm. You want to you're effectively only getting like half value out of it by doing it like this.
Mm-hmm.
You need to waiting till the second turn gives you twice as much information. You know. Yeah, Sydney wisely just snapping off a Wasteland on a Tundra, passing it back to Brandon, maybe assuming that Brandon... Like, the thing is that turn one brainstorm makes me think that Brandon's screwed in some aspect of the game, like he's missing something. He's going to play a Tundra on
So
turn...
what you're saying is that Brandon just next leveled Sydney.
Yep, that is actually what I'm saying. Yeah, there are not many people with foil ports. Alright, Sydney's just going to go with Plains Go, powerful legacy plays.
Oh, yeah.
Brandon going to fetch up a Volcanic Island. See if he's got anything going on here. Looks like he has another Scalding Tarn in his hand. He has Spell Snare available, which is going to be pretty great. He has Spell Snare and Counterspell. Looks like his hand is really reactive.
Which is fine here.
On the play, I mean, like he's
on the play with Sydney having no Ether Vial.
Yeah, I mean, this is
granted he had the Force for Ether Vial. But
yes. I mean, I said that I don't want his deck to be very reactive, but this is sort of the exact scenario where he could take advantage of it. Mm-hmm. Where Sydney hasn't done much yet, and Brandon has mana. Although, again, we're in the scenario where Brandon is very exposed to Sydney just drawing a bunch of Wastelands. That's how I feel like I lose against the deck, is they just draw a bunch of friggin' Wastelands.
Yeah.
Still-
Yeah, that's how I always lose. That's how I always lost with Dredge, right? It's
Yep.
just like it's unbeatable. It's like unlosable unless they just like play Athalia and Wasteland you twice.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just like, damn.
On the play, you've got to be pretty favored.
You're pretty favored either way. But that's how they get you.
Yeah, David, I feel you on there's always that chunk of cube that is a real pain to foil. I have like a bunch of fetch lands I still need to foil out, stuff like that. It's not great. All right, Brandon immediately fetching up Jite.
Oh,
Passing back to Sydney. Let's see what Sydney has for his turn. Let's try to see what he can sort out here. He does have a port, which is not the best. He's got another port in his hand. I think Sydney's pretty flooded here.
yeah, he looks like he doesn't have too much going on. He's Flicker Wisp, Wingmare, Jite, and some lands, I think.
Oh, Brandon got Batterskull? Oh, I thought he got Jitte.
Okay.
I was wrong. I'm also not a huge fan of that. I guess it's harder to connect with Jitte when you only have one creature.
Yeah, that's true.
I think he's going to Flicker Wisp the Germ.
Yeah, seems good to me.
And this is going to get Force of Will? Let's see if Brandon allows it to happen. Yeah, I think Brandon's going to have to Force of Will this. He's flush with cards. Like, you just need to do something with your mana. Force Pitching Spell Snare. Like, this is like... Force is completely fine in this matchup.
Yeah. Yeah, there are only like... Force is good in matchups where there are a few cards that you really care about.
David, I'm guessing the 3 foil fetch lands you're missing are Scalding Tarn, Misty Rainforest,
Polluted Delta?
and Polluted Delta? It depends. I think it's definitely... I think Tarn and Misty are the easy ones.
Yeah. How much are foil verdants?
I don't know. I have one.
So it doesn't matter.
I don't know the prices of the ones I already have. I'm
Yeah.
just like, yeah, I have it, whatever. Tarn is like 250 or something absurd like that. I'm also the kind of stickler that wants like onslaught foils, so
Yeah, that's reasonable.
that's gonna take a lot. There's like it's like Marsh Flats, sure. It's like 350 for like a for like an onslaught foil delta or something ridiculous like that, or strand. Completely absurd. Yeah, Marsh Flat's another expensive one. All right, we see an end-step brainstorm from Brandon here. Again, I think you can wait on this, especially because you know Sydney's going to port you.
Yeah.
You can do something with that mana. Another one? All right. This is basically Whispers of the Muse. I think he's really trying to find lands. He did find a land. I have no clue about enemy fetches being reprinted CPT. I can't imagine that that's going to happen anytime super soon, but I think it will happen.
It will happen. It makes Wizards too much money.
It
will happen eventually.
I just hate fetch lands being in formats because it makes everything way slower.
Yes.
That drives me
It is
crazy.
fairly aggravating. That was one of the things that I... so that ridiculous Teamer Ascendancy deck
Yes.
that I played for like a week. When I started playing that deck, after just playing Mono Red, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah,
All
my-
these lands look the same. It takes me 5 minutes to find the one I want because I have to look through my deck twice.
It's really frustrating.
Yeah.
All right, so while Brandon has not found lands, he has found another Force of Will. So here's Force of Will on the Vryn Wingmare. Cindy, again, just really flush with lands, not really doing much. And he's just going to Swords the Batterskull token. So, excuse me, the Germ token. Really, really awkward scenario for him. So that happens. Brandon gains 4 life, goes to 27. And now he has to pass. And we'll probably see Brandon return Batterskull end of turn. Or, sorry, end of next turn. You're going to 26 here, going to fetch up another Tundra. This is where you want to get that plateau.
Yeah.
Look, man, you're that perfect mana.
I mean, he's playing enough. He should probably have a plateau.
Some of these decks, I mean, he has Counterspell in his decks. That's the only awkward thing. But honestly, if any deck would play plateau, it's this one.
Yes.
All right. Draws Meddling Mage. I think Brandon just wants to bring a Meddling Mage in every matchup.
I think so.
Which I can respect.
I can as well.
I don't think it's correct, but I can respect the desire to just damage someone personally.
Yeah.
That way, where you just like, because like I can imagine playing like Sydney's deck, and my opponent like Meddling Mage is like the next card I draw, and I would want to throw my deck in the garbage.
Yes,
immediately
I
after
would.
that. I think that has some value.
I would rip up my like foil, whatever it was.
my foil Thalia. I don't even know what you
I don't
name.
even know. Well,
No clue what to name. Yeah, you want to run out there and
Yeah.
find out? I just love a Meddling Mage. Meddling Mage is a great card. Although Brandon should get original printings. All right, we'll see if what Brandon has named here. Kevin has gone out to check. Sydney just still a bunch of lands in his hand. He's got lands and a Jitte.
Source Splashers.
Yep, that's what I thought. Swords, 2 plowshares. Alright, Sydney's hand is a Caracas, a Jite, and a Flicker Wisp. I think he's going to target his own port. Yep.
Okay, yeah, that seems fine.
Targets his
And
own port, goes to end step, passes. Boom! It's dead.
bolt.
Sydney's going to double port Brandon here. Going for red source, white source. Brandon draws. Brandon, I think he should have just returned Batterskull with that mana.
I think so as well. That was what I expected.
Oop. Sydney draws, finds... Oh my god.
Tear it up.
Rip it in, rip
Throw
it
it in the trash.
Rip it in half. Who even wants this? Oh, oh my god.
That's gross.
Brandon just
Oh my.
working the body, so to speak. Oh, baby.
Refusing to return this battery.
No.
Doesn't even need it.
Doesn't even care. I'm blown away. This is amazing.
Opinion? Mountain, basic mountain in the sideboard of miracles?
Fine.
Fantastic.
Completely reasonable, if not good.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, alright.
Yeah, because there are matchups where you, like against like Delver decks, where you want Pyroblast and stuff.
Right, or
and
you get wasted,
Yeah,
and
and
like,
then
you just
don't
want that.
Like,
Yeah, Fair
Wasteland,
enough,
blue
fair enough.
Wasteland decks.
'Cause I've seen 2 lists now
Yeah,
that have that.
it's fairly common, I think.
All right, let's see if Sydney draws this turn. He draws Sarah Avenger. All right, it blocks.
It's not a Sword Splasher.
Oh, he did return the Batterskull, by the way.
Okay.
All right. Double port on some things. Probably both the white mana this time, or red and white.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, look. When you're getting port locked, Supreme Verdict is obviously not great. But I think Brandon had the opportunity to fetch. I think in a deck where you can fetch basics, Supreme Verdict is actually completely reasonable.
yeah, we've seen that. So Brandon has at least 2 islands and 1 plains in his deck.
Yes,
Like,
if you have a second plains or a third island, I think you definitely want a Verdict in your deck.
I agree.
Let's see what Sydney needs to draw, like, an equipment this turn? Oh my god, did he draw another Source of Plowshares? I will lose my mind. He did not draw an equipment. Puts Brandon down at 23. Draw another Sarah Avenger, which is just a chump blocker?
Yes.
Double port. Yeah, beta bolts are really expensive. I got Japanese FPVs. I bought them from Cyto Shop.
Nice.
Yeah. I have to go get them from. I have to go get them from the post office because they're certified mail. All right. In any case, double ports coming in action. Oh, I guess you just have a. You can't even double block here if you attack with everyone.
Nope. Yeah, he's got to chump and eat. I mean, you eat Metal Image, but
Well,
So-
so that's your
well-
choice. Like, what do you attack with then? Like, do you risk him having
you
a swords?
probably-
Like, you can attack with everyone, and that means he can't double block. That's a tough job.
That is interesting. So what is? Can you see Brandon has in hand? Does he have any
Spells.
some spells?
Pierce, which I think is also quite bad in this matchup.
Yes.
Although Sydney could play right into it if Brandon attacks with everyone. All right, so easy blocks for Sydney. He goes block Meddling Mage, chump Batterskull. If he swords ends a turn,
Yeah,
he gets
he's gonna-
maximally punished.
Yes, he is. Which he's got it. I mean,
You just
No,
wait.
you just wait.
Just
Yeah.
wait. You have so much mana.
yeah.
He's like, oh no, I'm definitely killing that one. Brandon not gonna punish. Oh no! No! Spell Pierce. Oh, we're done here. Did he draw an equipment? Did he draw an equipment? He drew another swords. Oh my god. Alright, so gains
That
1
is
from the
absurd.
interaction. Oh. Double port. Ooh, I think he forgot to return Batterskull again.
Yeah.
Wow. That was a third swords for Sydney.
Yeah, that's...
Ponder for Brandon. Let's see if he can find more lands. He has missed his land drops for a while. Oh, is that a Jite, a Force, and a land? Definitely just want. I think you just want to draw the Force.
I think so.
Draws a land. Yeah, I don't love that. Oh, he's another Ponder. I mean,
Sure.
this feels like a bit of a value spew.
Yeah.
Ooh, he did find Council's Judgment. Put the Force in
Yeah,
your hand.
put the Force.
Oh,
Oh, no.
never gonna cast that Council's Judgment. Not
Or
happening.
that verdict.
Nope. Yeah, there's a Mother of Runes. Yeah, if Sydney crawls back into this game,
That...
um,
It could happen.
it will be pretty unreal.
Everything is going right for that to happen.
Yes.
But lots of things still need to go
Yes,
right.
exactly. I mean, Brandon does have another spell on top of his deck, but he gets to
Yeah.
shuffle it away if he casts Stoneforge Mystic this turn, which I think he has to.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, this way, the last card, I think, is Jite.
You could have another...
He would have had to have boarded in Sword of Feast and Famine? Yep, just the Jite.
Yeah. Looked through his whole deck.
It's there.
Yeah.
I think Brandon's playing a little quickly here. Might maybe missing a little bit of percentage points, but we'll see if he can get through this. Sydney, if Sydney makes his comeback, I will be very impressed.
Yes.
Although I will say it will certainly be. It won't entirely be his doing, but he's kept himself alive. Yeah, 3 swords down. I wonder if he drew the 4th one. No, I think he was checking for equipment. Oh man. Yeah, he's got to swords this, right? You have to force this.
Yeah, he has to.
You have to. Is that the 3rd force of will for Brandon?
I think so.
Jeez. I wonder how Sydney feels about how this game is going. I'd love to know.
Well,
Attack for 3 and Sarah Avenger doing work. Double port now, taking out 2 lands. I mean, I think this is a scenario where you're supposed to go for both the white sources. Brandon's just going to return Batterskull. Oh, he got a little punished there.
yeah.
If he had not done that, he would have been able to Council's Judgment this turn. But now he can just put in Jite. Sydney has a
Yeah.
lot of very good draws that aren't... I mean, most of his draws are pretty reasonable, except for, like, basic planes.
Yeah.
I'd say that is his worst draw.
Yeah, his basic plane's quite bad. Well, up there with flagstones.
Flags? Yeah, sure. Same thing.
Yeah.
So basic planes.
Basic planes.
Attack for 3.
Well, no. Flagstones is much worse in case
Oop, there's a
Brandon
wasteland.
draws Blood Moon.
That's
then
true.
he also is not in a great spot.
Alright. Batterskull coming in.
Tilting.
What the way he's putting that? Alright, double port, taking out Volk and Tundra. I think he bricked on land again. I think if Brandon attacks, Sydney will just block and pro black.
Yeah.
Just do what you have to do. Don't die. You can't actually afford to play around removal spells at this point. D-Mark, that's an interesting play. Like, just go port draw step and then let him go to draw step and port upkeep and then port draw step to like not let him float mana. I don't hate that.
Yeah, because then he either just returns it right away, and that saves you 2 mana.
Yeah.
Or you get him.
This is an important draw step for Sydney, though. See, Greg. We drew another wasteland. Not bad, but it's gonna stop. I mean, Brandon needs to draw land now to equip this Jite, and that's something that he has not been doing a good job of.
So, like, how many...
Sydney also has, by the does Sydney have
So
a,
2 volcanics. 2 volcanics, 1 tundra.
he's
There's
out of
no
tundras.
tundras.
He's out of tundras. He might have one more volcanic.
Yeah.
He definitely has
He
basics.
definitely has 1 more volcanic.
Okay.
We saw 3 in
So
in an
upkeep Snapcaster, target Brainstorm. I think I would just try and draw a land here. But He did find 2 lands, which is pretty important. Puts them back on top. Has he drawn for turn?
He has not.
No, go. Pretty sure he did not draw for that turn. I wish that Modern League... Man, Mission Important Modern would be an absolute nightmare. There's no part of me that wishes that that happened.
Did you see draw card?
I don't know.
Yeah, I asked him if it was an upkeep brainstorm and if he had drawn a card, and he was like, "No, I might have missed it." I was like, "Well, you should."
Missed it?
You can't.
You can't miss
Yeah.
it. It's a draw step. Alright, finding the... I think that's the 3rd volcanic. It's got to be close to out-of-fetchable lands at this point.
Yeah, just the islands and the plains.
Was he a Ponder? Oh, I do not like... I think you just put Jite
Jite.
to one of your non-Batterskull creatures.
Yep.
Found, you did just find Swords of Bushes, though, which should lock it up.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, that's what he needed all along,
Yeah.
was the Swords. Well, now he just attacks with everything.
I mean, you can just sort some other runes, right?
Yeah, you can Swords anything.
Yeah, sort anything.
Swords that. Gives Batterskull Pro black. Cindy gains a life up to 4. Now Sydney can only block the Germ. Basically, Sydney needs to have, I think, his 4th Swords to Plowshares. No attacks? Alright. Yeah, I think... I don't want to say that Brandon's trying hard to give this game away because, like, for what it's worth, it's very possible that we have the life totals wrong here, and that is a very important part of what's
Yes.
going on. Like, if we are mistaken, then that changes
Like
basically
yeah,
everything.
If Sydney's at 5, then like
yes, then the attack's awful.
Attacks, yeah.
Well, no, I think the attack's really good there too, because then Sydney has to block Batterskull.
But it has pro black.
Cataclysm? Cataclysm? Oh my goodness. Cataclysm. In here. Each player gets to keep a creature, an artifact, an enchantment, and a land. Sydney's keeping Port, and he's keeping Sarah Avenger. But unfortunately, Brandon gets to keep the Germ and the Batterskull. So Sydney once again needs to draw Swords to Plowshares.
Jeez.
Any swords home? Any swords? Any blockers? That's it.
Oh.
Brandon takes it down in a pretty ridiculous game. Wow, that was absurd. I think
That was absurd.
I think that game was a lot closer than it should have been. But a pretty absurd game nonetheless. I thought the Cataclysm was going to be able to like take some things down there, but not quite enough. But yeah, pretty ridiculous night. It's like
That's the most like frustrating type of game, right? If you're in Sydney's seat.
yeah. Oh yeah. I have to imagine. I have to imagine that was at least a tough spot to be in there. In any case, that's gonna do it for our stream tonight.
Yeah.
I think that's the perfect note to end it on. Thank you for everyone for tuning in. Pretty entertaining Night of Legacy going on here. Ridiculous and more basically every aspect of it. Go to a few things to shout out to. So mtgcardmarket.com. You guys should go there. There's a lot of content up on the website right now. A lot of articles, video series. We post updates about when we put all these things on YouTube. You can find all video content. You can find recent ones on our Twitch page, and then you can also just find all of our older ones on the YouTube page. So head there. We upload all of our Twitch streams there. And yeah, our schedule, by the way, for our consistent schedule is Wednesdays Modern at 7:30 and Thursdays Legacy at 7:30. Drafts also happen sometimes. The streaming is a little more inconsistent there, just because of issues with mostly with popularity of how things go there. But that's how it is. Limited is just never as popular as constructed as far as viewing goes. In any case, I wanted to thank you guys for tuning in. Follow the stream so you can know when we start streaming. Click that little follow button there. And yeah, we hope to see you tuning in as often